Hey everyone, Nate here. Just want to quickly say thank you for checking out episode 50 of the Concrete Wasteland podcast. Really looking forward to you hearing this one out with DJ Temple of Temple Entertainment. I just want to quickly let you know that there were 4 of us there, myself, Sean, DJ, and Matt, but you will only ever see 3 of us on camera. Matt had slightly taken himself out of frame after we got everything set up, and there's just no way to properly get him in frame after the fact for this video. So just letting you know there will be one of us off frame, just so you're not caught off guard. Without further ado, enjoy the episode. How are you doing? It is episode 50.
Fucking
I'm just fucking chipper. So chipper.
Okay.
So good.
It is so fucking late right now. We recorded this episode earlier today before a show that Sean had to play with our guest.
I fucking hope so. I have
His
a new
shit's on.
level of hate.
You know what? His shit's on. I made sure this time around.
Are you 100%?
I'm not saying
You know what?
I'm saying
Go
nothing.
double check.
I'm just gonna keep
Because
quiet.
if it's off, I'm
good.
going to
We are
break your fucking legs.
The problem with adjusting microphones is Matt was over there for most of the episode. Now he's over here. We swapped mics, but I didn't arm shit properly. But we are here.
Why'd you
I
make
want to
me
say,
move? Whatever.
guys, we had a wicked guest in for episode 50. DJ fucking Temple of Without Mercy, Temple Entertainment, and Temple Music Academy was here. We had the pleasure of talking to him on an episode between episode 15 and 25 at Days of the Dead in 2017. I cannot elaborate how much fun this podcast was, how much it meant to all 3 of us to have him here, considering he's been a very good friend and I'm going to say mentor to all of us in some way, shape, or form. He gives solid advice. He's done a lot for the scene in Western Canada, and he's just got a lot of solid advice that I feel you can all take away from. Before I get into a thank you and introducing the first song, is there anything you guys, people, need to really pay attention to in this episode?
Straight up, the whole goddamn thing. Listen to it. Get a pen, get some paper, take some fucking notes, learn a thing, get good, be like the Ginger Tornado.
What the bird said, folks.
That's awesome. And
Straight up.
we split this up into 2 sections. We have the kind of weeb fanboy section, which is the first half. But with that, we learned a lot that we weren't expecting to learn. We were just asking some stuff, and we went down some paths we weren't expecting to. There's some great anecdotes. And then we have more of a tips and tricks section, which we will be editing and airing in a separate video, as well as this podcast and video down the line for all of you to enjoy on my YouTube channel, because again, DJ dropped some fucking knowledge bombs and it is worth your time to pay attention. And now, before I get into introducing the first band of the evening, I want to say thank you to our editor for the past 5 or 6 episodes, Cliff. You can find him at info@vocalmixes.com if you want to message him. He is a wicked hip-hop beat producer. If you're into rap, into hip-hop, and need stuff to rap over, this is the dude to talk to. He's been helping us out with the podcast for about 2.5 months now. He's been a solid dude, and this is his last episode with us, helping behind the scenes because he has to go and focus on those beats.
But thank you for all your help.
Yeah, thank you. We are extremely grateful. I'm stoked to see that things are picking up for you in that realm. And guys, if you're in that realm,
with this painful of events that we have given you as your last project.
Yeah, this is going to be a long one, but a good one.
We're hurt into right now.
I
Probably
hope
If it makes you feel any better, I'm in a great amount of pain.
he went hard today. Without
We're as tired as you.
Without further ado, I want to introduce the first band. We've had them on the show, or we featured them on the show before.
I've done reviews for them.
They're a phenomenal band. They made it to the national final of the Vakken battles this past year.
Boy, did they fucking earn it.
This is Hammerdrone from Calgary, Alberta, Canada, with a new single, An Ever-Increasing Wave. You can find it on all of their social media platforms, all streaming sites, wherever you get your music. Look up Hammerdrone, download their stuff. Go to Bandcamp. If you don't know where else to go to Facebook and find that shit. Go see him on Instagram. Throw him a like. Throw him a subscribe. Check out Terran's stuff on YouTube. He writes some really cool
Check out
acoustic
Terran's
music.
band. Crap it is. But more importantly, check out Hammerdrone, because that's the one we're playing for you. This song is a smasher, just like every song in their category. So, an ever-increasing wave. Get it in you.
Welcome everyone to the Concrete Wasteland.
Hello.
Episode 50, and we have quite the interesting individual in the studio with us today. Say hello to DJ Temple.
DJ the Ginger Tornado. Temple.
Hi.
For those of you who don't know who DJ is, he is a very, I like to think, key part of the Western Canadian music scene. He does a lot behind the scenes to help out bands. We're going to get more into that down the line, but this guy's solid shit. You're going to learn a lot, I think, throughout this episode. We're going to do two things. We're going to let you guys know a bit more about the guy on the fun end of everything, and then we're going to grill into him a bit more, and we're going to feature that as well on the YouTube channel in a tips and tricks episode. So
Fuck yeah, bring it. I
we're
love
gonna,
it.
let's do this.
And I should look here. Hey, guys.
You can look there. You can look
Hola.
there.
Oh, hey, holy shit.
Yeah.
Ah, damn.
Ah, ¿cómo está?
What's that?
So without further ado, I guess these are our weeb questions. Or actually, do you have anything you want to say before we start off?
I am genuinely stoked to be doing this. Genuinely. Not like that. I was like, real good to be here, guys. No, I'm genuinely stoked. I talk to every one of you on, not, like, I talk to you guys on a regular basis. It breaks my heart we don't talk more often.
I'm a nervous energy, but yes, I agree with you.
I would
Talk
love
more.
to. And this is exciting. I watch your fucking thing, your tips and tricks. It's cool, man.
Oh, dude.
It's really cool. So I'm down. Let's do this
Sweet.
thing.
Awesome. Well, let's get into what we dubbed the weeb questions for the night. And without further ado, Sean, do you want to
Lord
start
Weeb
us off?
himself.
So, DJ,
Hi.
how did you get the name Ginger Tornado?
A buddy of mine, like, and I don't remember how many years ago, was mocking me while I was doing windmills with my hair, and he's like, "You look like a ginger tornado," and I was like, "I'll bet you that's so ridiculous, I could take it somewhere."
That's perfect. That's just like the stickers I've seen on the back of your vehicles or cases.
The
Like
new shirt that you're about to release.
Yeah, the shirt is
Yeah, that
fucking
shirt's
sick.
That
wicked.
shirt is the shit.
Speaking of, Sean,
Yeah, I forgot. I can't find the one I wanted, and then I left the other one at home.
well, we were all gonna whore out your band merch.
Oh shit!
Actually,
but
this wasn't in our set of questions, but I noticed that with the Ginger Tornado, it has the same font as Born for Tomorrow.
Does it?
Yes.
Sheer fluke, I swear.
Okay, then I was
Absolute
just
sheer
curious,
fluke.
like, is that just a tip of
But
the hat to them, or is it
I
like
will
one of the
say,
members?
I will say this: in everything I do, my wife loves llamas, and that's why there's a llama tattoo on the bicep. Because in everything we do, we try and hide a llama. At my store where I teach music lessons, we built this 80-foot mural. And we hit a fucking llama in the negative space of the mural. Nobody saw it. My wife saw it in 3 seconds.
does she like llamas with hats?
Is that
Shit,
why there's
everything.
llamas on your
That's why I'm wearing llama
geez.
socks right now. She got me llama socks, and they have like little like ties, and one's smoking a pipe.
Carl, that kills people.
Yeah, I know. Oh my god, that made me die. Oh,
Tell me how the rumblies tell me how the rumblies.
Oh, God.
What'd you do? I stepped him
Only hands
57
can
times.
satisfy them.
It's great, man. Yeah, I'm in a death metal band, and I'm wearing llama socks.
I love it. I
llama
absolutely
socks.
love it.
But yeah, that's how I got Ginger Tornado.
Oh, fantastic! Thank you very much. Anyone else?
Marvelous.
No, this is just.
Oh, am I just gonna go?
Well,
We'll
you're
just
next off the bat.
jump into it whenever you want, my friend.
Well, all right. I'll just go again then. Question number 2. How would you describe yourself when you first started out in music?
That's a weird question because I technically played like trumpet in high school and shit. Do you want that, or like, do you mean the Without Mercy era?
I want to hear.
back
I
as
want to
you
hear
want.
your very origin of that.
This is really important to me because of where we are right now. So I'll wrap out to that real quick because it's kind of. I started in grade 6 or 7. My mother was really concerned about, because we didn't have middle school when I was going, so she was concerned about the jump from elementary school to high school, and she discovered this after school band program where I could play like whatever instrument I ended up choosing, and it took place at the high school I was about to go to. So she was like, "Oh shit!" Then like maybe he can get like acclimated to going to this place 2 years before he goes or whatever. And I started doing it. And trumpet was a thing. It just became part of my habit. I was playing trumpet, and I ended up getting like a scholarship to college and shit for it, which was hilarious because trumpet was actually a lot of fun. Partway along there, I picked up drums and guitar because I thought it would help me talk to girls. It didn't, and I call myself a ginger tornado. I'm basically fucked anyway. But yeah. And then I started playing guitar, and then I took guitar really seriously after high school. And then I started studying guitar under some rad dudes in my hometown. And then right now I have 2 major teachers. One of them is Chris Broderick. Another is my buddy Max, who went to Berkeley. So I'm doing all the Berkeley material right now, which is gnarly. And I'm grateful enough and fortunate enough that I get to fucking teach guitar when I'm not touring, which is gnarly. And then I started Without Mercy around my 20s because I was teaching martial art, and I had a falling out with the organization over political garbage. And I was like, fuck it, I'm going to start a band. I actually met Dimebag Darrell, shook his hand and said, I want to start a band because of you. And he's like, then fucking do it, Texas accent. And that's amazing. He actually would say Texas accent. That's at least how I remember it. And then for years, people would be like, this band's not going to work. I was like, fuck you, Dimebag said it would. Like, word of Jesus, Dimebag. Now, the reason that's all important is, and I hope to fuck it happens again tonight, is we're currently in Medicine Hat, where that high school band teacher retired to.
No way.
And is coming tonight with his son, who is a drummer. And they're going to come watch the show because he's been following my band ever since we kind of like broke through the garage. You call it like a garage band era stuff?
Yeah.
Like, and now we tour and we internets and stuff. And he's coming tonight, so I get to see him again, like full circle. It's going to be fucking great, man.
That's amazing. Like you said, the full circle of having an instructor that retired and came to a different city. Now you're playing in that same city. He's come to see you. That's
yeah, and he knows who the fuck we are, which is crazy. Like, he heard about us somehow, probably through you guys or whatever. But like, and he's like, oh shit, it's DJ. And then like the sense of pride when I've spoken to him on the phone. And he came a couple years ago. We were out here playing at Ollie's, and he came and just the general like, oh my God, you're actually doing it. And I was just like, yeah, because you made music cool, legit.
And with that being your teacher, there's something you said that I cannot stress enough. DJ himself is still stressing to further himself in what he knows. He still goes and actively searches for lessons while teaching. So all of you out there listening, no matter what stage in your career you're in, know that you can always learn something and never hold yourself back from taking that extra step just to further yourself in whatever way you feel necessary. There's always something new.
Mentors are the shit. You and I have spoken about that a lot.
Most definitely.
I've kind of emailed him or messaged him like, what the fuck are you doing?
Yeah, I've gone a few of those, woken up in the morning going, well, my entire weekend's now trying to make DJ not mad at me.
Yeah. Because I have clout like that.
Yeah, he does.
Do you get the sarcasm?
Yeah.
It's pretty good. Yeah, that's my musical circle, man. It was, I can't believe he's going to come tonight. Like, it's so great. It's so great.
It blows. I really hope that one day maybe I can have a moment like that, because that just... To me, I like the glow on your face and the smile of you, like having that first mentor, like showing that's
like, fuck, man. I remember like we graduated in 2001, so I'm old as fuck, but like we graduated in 2001, and I would go back to him and like visit and be like, oh, I'm stressed because of this. And now this teacher guy became more like a friend and would give me life advice. And I'd be like, oh, that's a good point. I should try it. And then we just lost touch because he moved back here, and like I wasn't really doing the Facebook thing yet. And then, like, I just started doing Without Mercy, and it took off, and we're stoked, and we just kept doing our thing and kept releasing records and shitty shirts and just having fun. Fuck pussy metal, you smell like a bitch, all this stuff, just deodorant, like, just having fun.
Yeah.
And then I get a message out of nowhere, hey, Deej. I'm like, oh, my fucking God. And all the feelings flooded back of like, this was such a cool dude. Actually, really quick, sorry to go off on a rant. That's my first experience touring, because this guy set up where we would hop on a Greyhound bus and come to towns like this and play all the high schools and perform, and then load the bus and drive to the next one. And I was like, this is fucking great. This is great. I didn't know it was touring.
That's
but
amazing.
One anecdote, you have successfully answered 2 of my questions.
No, don't feel bad about it. It shows how much everything is really intertwined with everything. There's really no start or end point.
Yeah, it's really cool, man. So yeah, his name's Mr. Ward. I still call him Mr. Ward to this day.
I recognize
that name too.
You know Mark Ward. His son's Gavin. He's a drummer.
Yeah, we know Gavin. We know Gavin very well, actually.
He's a very good drummer.
He's phenomenal, actually.
Who would have thought?
What a small world. What a small world.
Only Medicine Hat is a small world.
It's pretty cool, man.
Well,
hey, Matt, how about you hit us with some logic?
Well, I guess you kind of really partially answered this question, DJ, but who would be your main influences when standing out? Or starting out, I mean, sorry.
Okay, that is tough, because my dad taught me forever ago that your word is everything. You have nothing if your word means shit. And that's a hard one, because I don't talk about him because he died 6 years ago. And it's just, I don't really ever talk about that was my moral compass. And I was doing karate a lot as a kid too, because here we go. I was 4 and wanted to be a Ninja Turtle.
yes.
Who didn't?
And like to the point where I would go out in the street and try and like lift up the sewers, be like, I'm coming, Splinter. My dad was like, maybe we should try and like do this. So he put me in a karate class thinking I would give up in 2 weeks.
Maybe.
He's like, 2 weeks, you'll give up. Like 20 years later, or I guess 14 actually, I'm flying to Japan with my karate teacher to like do stuff. My dad's like, fuck.
This didn't quite go how I wanted it.
Fuck, he's a Ninja Turtle now.
So like my bone of contention, which is a weird answer, but has been my karate teacher and my father's moral influences of what is right and wrong and integrity and stuff like that. And in this industry, it has made me quite a few not so friendly friends. And it's easily at the basis of all like rumor mills or anything. It's because there was a thing with that, and I have a very strong justice meter, and I do not accept like lying and stealing. Now we're done. Now we don't speak. Now it's over. Now, oh, I'm sorry, man. No, you're not, because you reached your hand in the cookie jar. We're over now. So I'd say that. But musically, obviously Pantera, obviously Dimebag, obviously Jeff Loomis, obviously Mr. Ward. Yeah, I think that answered it.
That's awesome.
That completely answers that question. Wholly and completely.
I guess, Sean, I guess number 5 has been answered.
Yep, 5 has been answered.
So you want to take number 6 on, and then I got a question for DJ after that.
Are there any details or updates that you can bestow upon us for this new album?
New album, yes. So we're gonna have Chris Broderick on it.
Oh,
which is nice.
Can I start masturbating right now?
Yeah, he's a fucking great guy. Son of a bitch. He's a solid fucking guy.
No,
He's
I want everyone to hear.
We were gonna have Phil Bozeman, but it fell apart when our management started talking to his management. Everything just fell apart. I don't know right now what happened. So that sucks, because I was kind of looking forward to being like, Phil Bozeman I'm trying to learn the death metal scream that you guys know how to do. Mm-hmm. I'm trying to learn, and he's my biggest role model right now.
He gets that guttural so clean.
It's sick.
Just a deadly hollow.
I can't do it. Colton's probably the one
Disgusting
vocalist
how
in
good
town who can hit that close, because he's very inspired by Phil in those lows.
Same here.
But like,
And he can sing too, actually.
that's what blows me away about him, is that he has that kind of control to go that deep and still sing.
Tiny guy.
Yeah.
9 songs.
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Tiny.
Album is 9 songs. They rule. We just did drums, so now we're set to do guitars at the end of April. Vocals are going to be the beginning of May. Then it goes to Dave Otero to mix it.
Nice.
And then it goes to management, and they start the shopping process. And rumor is that 1 or 2 might actually give a shit.
Dude, well, best of luck with that.
Definitely.
And speaking of all the
Llamas.
stuff you guys have coming up for like recording, you also have a GoFundMe that you've been going to help fund that. How has the GoFundMe been coming along?
It could have been better, to be honest. It could have done better. I think a lot of people still have a stigma to the GoFundMe thing. I know I still personally look at stuff and go, okay, $20, whatever. But I know it was like, we tour a lot, and people are probably like, why do you need a GoFundMe? It's a thing. And the issue with us is that it's been a deadline scenario. Like in Vancouver, in BC, there's this new grant that they announced. I forget what it's called, like the Creative BC grant or whatever. And what that enabled to do was enabled a lot of studios that were smaller to get a shit ton of business, and bands that could never afford to record before had a shit ton of money all of a sudden to record.
Oh, shit.
So everything is packed. And so for us to get in and even get our stuff done in 2019, it was like, it has to be here to here. And because of the Creative BC grant, there's more money. So everybody wants like 50 or 60% down. Well, when you're doing drums for $5,000, it's like, oh yeah, I guess I have $2,500 just right here. So we were trying to use the GoFundMe to wrap out a lot of the deadlines that we had to meet. And it worked. We got the drums paid for, but yeah.
Okay, well, that's good to hear. And also I think that, again, stresses more points where when you're at the level Without Mercy's at, and you're putting the amount of thought into getting an album done, it's a lot more than just writing songs, hitting record, and getting them together. There's a huge process to it that a lot of people kind of overlook.
There is, and there's like a certain entity factor, which is, and I don't mean that arrogantly, like Without Mercy's an entity. I mean that like when we play a show, 15 people have to get paid. Mm-hmm. And that's what's shitty. Like, yeah, when you're negotiating guarantee and stuff, a lot of times the promoter will think, well, Without Mercy's 4 dudes in a van and they want this much money. And it's not that. It's like, we have to pay our management, we have to pay our merch supplier, we have to pay the booking agent, and we have to pay our rep. It's a shit ton, dude. And if he wants 10% and they want 15 and this person needs 20 and we're trying to pay back a GoFundMe or
And you're walking away with less than most 4 pieces. I would just be asking for a direct guarantee without management.
100%. It's a thing. I mean, plus and minus. I mean, I love our manager, Greg. He's fucking cool.
Yeah.
But
and you guys get some wicked shows. Like every time you guys are on a bill, it's a bill worth seeing and a bill worth going to.
oh, thanks, man. Thanks. That's cool. That's cool.
Every time, Sean and I made the effort for 2 reasons. We thought it was, once again, the last world-class white trash show, even though we went to the last world-class white trash show at Decimate Fest 2 months prior.
Okay.
But the main key to that was you guys were playing, and I really wanted to see you guys play because the last few times you've played in town, I had personal shit I had to deal with. So I'd show up, say hi, be like that, and be like, oh, right, well, now I got to go deal with this and hope I make it in time. And next thing you know, I missed the Ginger Tornado. I'm like, oh, great. I'm messaging him.
Nobody misses the Ginger Tornado.
Yeah.
I was like, oh, they played. Cool.
Yeah. But going out and actually seeing you in a different environment playing those shows, it was really cool because that was a wicked environment just to be at that show. Death God playing Without Mercy, World Class White Trash, Megiddo, and there was one other band that you guys played with. Black Sin.
Oh, yeah. Those guys are fun.
Yeah.
Those guys are fun.
Like I said, not a bad band on the bill, and I can't say there's been a single bill where I can say there's a bad band to help support you.
That was a fun night. That was fun. Death God are my friends. They're cool guys. Blaine and Big Crow, as I call him. Good old Big Crow. Yeah. he's a cool guy, man, for sure.
Well, the next question that we had here was directly related to that long sleeve that I bought at that said show with that phrase on it, and I've been honestly trying to figure out remember what you told me it meant.
Okay, here we go.
I don't know. We don't have it here. I can't find it, so we can't do that.
Oh yeah, it's which one was it? Was it the one with the kind of demon on it?
The Wendigo on it.
Pamamuka ninin iskwa wisindi Wendigo, I think is what it says.
Something like that.
Yeah. So the Wendigo is Ojibwe folklore. As it's been explained to me, our vocalist is Ojibwe First Nations, and he says that the Wendigo is a creature that happens when you submit to cannibalism. The spirit of the Wendigo goes into you, and you become this creature that grows proportionally with how much you eat. So you are never satisfied.
Oh, that's cool.
It's fucking like he's just telling us this once at like a rest stop, and we all kind of like stopped chewing, and we're like, that's metal as fuck.
Yeah.
And so the phrase on the bottom is something to the effect of the Wendigo feasts on you until sunrise, and that's why the cover is, or the front of the shirt is like the Wendigo just gnawing this motherfucker open.
Damn, I love the context behind that,
dude. And on the new record is and tonight we're going to play it, is the song Wendigo, where he screams that at the bottom of the shirt, and that's how we start. Just goes, and then we just do this metal thing.
Okay. I'm stoked.
It's good.
It's
stoked. Super dope, man. There's a lot of Ojibwe, like, lore, is that the word? Mm-hmm. On the new record. In fact, I think it's what you would call a concept record, but I still am not convinced, but I think it is a concept record.
Like a loose concept?
No, it's not loose. Like Alex has written like a goddamn short story to the fucking thing.
It's a concept record then.
Yeah, he's done the work, man.
It's really easy for the vocalist to turn a record into a concept record.
Yeah, dude. Like we have another song we're playing tonight called Bakak, not to be confused with My Cock.
Or Bukaki. Yes,
we call it Bukaki in the band. It's funny, but it's another crazy demon creature that flies through wooded areas that just has bright growing red eyes, and it doesn't stop screaming. And
just like Alex.
Yeah, pretty much.
Oh, that's fantastic. Yeah, this one's for Matt actually, because he's been curious about this.
I'm curious about the inspiration behind the slogan for "You smell like a bitch."
You smell like a bitch was my wife was working graveyard shifts at a Shoppers Drug Mart, and I would often go visit her. And then I was walking back to the house and was just thinking like, you smell like a bitch. And it was kind of like, it kind of formed into this homage because there's a Pantera line I really, really love off the Reinventing the Steel record. And it just comes out of nowhere. He just goes, the smell in the air is chicken shit. And I'm like, that is fucking cool. And I was like, you smell like a fucking chicken shit. No, that doesn't work. You smell like a bitch. You smell like a bitch. And at the time, I was going through something really personal and involving a lot of people in my life that had like stolen, had taken things, started rumors, started shit, and it was just a fucking time. So I actually wrote the song Worthless is about someone specifically in my life at the time. And that's why it starts with you smell like a bitch. Like you smell like a coward. You smell like a flake. You smell like a thief. You smell like a bitch.
That explains why there's so much power behind that song in particular. Like the moment that line comes in and then the riffs and the drums pound, it just feels like you're being pounded.
Yeah, and you look up the lyrics. Like I was
May I
pissed.
interject and stroke your ego as well?
Oh, no.
Yeah, so straight up, that's my favorite song by you guys.
Yeah, same here.
Straight up.
I like Burn.
I can't
Thank
help
you.
I can't
Thank
help
you.
but fuck somebody up to that song.
You smell like a bitch.
And and every time it's like, you want to hear the best line or the best opening line in any metal song that I've ever heard? And then I'll play that, and they'll be like, "You smell like a bitch," and they're like, "What?"
Yeah.
On the way up to Days of the Dead, we listened to that record about 3 or 4 times on repeat before we finally switched it.
While we're on tour with Nuclear Oath, that's when I heard it for the first time.
Yeah.
And I was just like, "Where the fuck have these guys been my
Yeah.
entire life?"
Yeah, that was
Nick,
fun.
And Lick looked at me deadpan right in the face. He's like, "I know, right?"
Yeah, that phrase and our other one are like synonymous with the band, and actually sealed our management deal. The manager we have now, I was speaking to him, and he was like, "You smell like a bitch. What does that mean?" Same kind of thing. I explained it to him, and I think he was something along the lines. He was just like, "Fuck yeah, I'm in. I can get behind a band that does something like that." Damn, it was cool. It was cool.
That's wicked.
But yeah, on the lines of speaking of you smell like a bitch. A couple years back, you did do that deodorant, which is natural. Got any other like quirky and bizarre like merch, something like this, or you want to like?
I do,
Or at least any ideas?
I do.
for
I
sure.
will promise you this. It's not stopping with deodorant.
Good.
I am known as the merch whore in my band. Funny story about the deodorant. It's not a bullshit product. Like I spent probably 4 months trying to get the recipe right. It's like
really?
it's like vegan and shit, and it's like you said, it's all natural. It's good for you. It pulls out bad toxins in your body and shit. Like it's a legitimate deodorant that we tried to just. I was just like, okay, I just want to make it. And then the person that was manufacturing to it tried to just rip me off and wanted me to pay. I think it was like $14 or $15 a unit. And I was like, yeah, all right, we're done. And that's why we didn't reproduce more. But I didn't tell my bandmates.
You just came with it?
I didn't. I threw all the money at the prototypes. I got them manufactured. I did the fucking labels. Actually, I think Reagan actually did the labels at the time. But like,
I think I even remember that Instagram post that you just come in with a bunch of boxes with a smile. It's like, look what the Ginger Tornado brought in.
yeah, and everyone was like, what? And then I just did that. My bandmates, like the rest of the world, found out about it from the Instagram and Facebook.
Oh,
posts.
that's fun. That's wicked.
And they're like,
Probably that jolly smile was like, what?
I think it was our drummer Matt phoned me and he's like, "Are you fucking kidding?" I'm like, no, it's real. He's like, "No, it's not." I'm like, "Yeah, it's legit." No, it's not. I think Alex or Ryan, I can't remember. One of them was just like, "Of course you did. Of course you did." So yeah, there's that.
Fun fact, I think
two
that's one of the last
reactions.
ones from the OG lineup.
Oh
'Cause
my
I remember I
God.
came up to you, was like, "Do you have any more of that deodorant?" You're
No,
like,
because we did 160 units in 3 hours. Just gone.
damn.
That was it. It was over. I put it on our web store and I just made it like a 1-button click, fill out the credit card thing and go.
Yeah,
and it was
gone.
just ding, ding. I think it crashed my iPhone at the time because just go ding, 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 ding. I was like, holy fuck, okay. Apparently that's the button, apparently.
That's the hot button.
It was
Well,
a
no one
good
wants
button.
to smell like a bitch.
No, it's true.
Well.
It's witty and it
You
works.
should send it to Samuel L. Jackson with a picture of his face from Pulp Fiction.
Does he look like a bitch?
Well, no, but he smells like one.
God. Sean has one, and then I got 3 for you, actually.
Oh, let's do
Wow.
this.
All right, now that we're talking, we briefly touched on the future of Without Mercy when you were discussing merch plans. So, are you able to indulge us in some future plans for Without Mercy?
obviously the new record.
Yes.
We didn't apply to any festivals this year because our entire 2019 focus needed to be the record, because management had informed us of a bunch of steps that we were unaware of happens. So that we basically stopped touring, and now we tour now to basically fund the shit that we have to pay for, which is really hilarious. It's that expensive.
Yeah,
it's great.
God.
It's great. We played a fun game where we went to a car dealership and we were like, oh, I wonder what car we can buy with the budget for the record. it's like, oh, a Beamer.
It's like a baby in a way.
Jesus. Once the new record comes out, which again, it should be early August, management has the record and they're shopping it. When it gets announced that it's released, then we do like a 300-day tour, and we are fucking out there, and the new merch line will get thrown out. The new website's coming. I'm building that myself. So that's getting done right now.
Nice.
That'll get launched, and that's about it.
That's fantastic.
That's a lot of good plans.
Yeah, buddy.
Really bright future.
Big
All right,
tours.
Nate, lay it on.
Oh, okay. So obviously you've had the pleasure of playing with a lot of bands throughout your career. Are there any that really stand out to you?
Exit Strategy.
Hell yeah.
They
Exit
were
Strategy.
great at Days of the Dead when we seen them.
What about them stands out to you? Makes them stand out to you?
Selfishly, I was in a bit of a rut where I wasn't considering quitting. I would say I was just like, this is getting old. Like, we're playing to 3 people. Nobody seems to give a fuck about us. Like, this, what the fuck? Oh, wow, 15 likes on a Facebook page and 1 person came to the show. I wish I was exaggerating. That was an actual number.
We've all been there.
Jesus. Promoters, yeah, we'll pay you $100 to show up. And then you show up and they're like, actually, you have to pay me. Really? That's a thing?
What?
Jesus.
Oh.
It was dark. We played, it wasn't Days of the Dead, I don't think. It might have been, but it was a fluke where we were on tour and we were playing with Exit Strategy, and I met Wes, who was a nice guy, and he did his sound check, and I just laughed because he does, if you ever seen his sound check, he's like, sandwich.
Yeah.
That's what he said. He's fucking funny. And then they started, and they were playing, and I was like, Jesus fucking Christ. Jesus fucking Christ.
They were relentless.
It was
really
great.
were.
And I'm naturally competitive, so for me, I was like, there's the bar. So I'm going to get us up to that bar then. And then it was like this whole fuel of
Kind of like healthy competition. In a way.
it was a whole fuel of, I have to get to their level. I have to get to their level. I can't get comfortable. I can't get complacent. I have to get, and it's not like because I wanted to be better than them. It's not like that.
No, it's a
I was just
personal
like,
drive.
yeah, I wanted to be able to healthily and positively share the stage with them, not feel terrible about myself, and become like we're already friends instantly. You meet those guys and in 10 seconds they're coming to your wedding. Like they're amazing guys front to back, all of them. Greg, I feel like the bass player Greg, I had the closest bond with. We just got along in seconds.
Okay.
But yeah, everything about what they did was great, to the point where I might have sent an angry email to the Vakken people when they didn't win. I not proud of it. I don't remember if I clicked send. I know I wrote it.
If you didn't click send, that's probably the healthiest thing to do.
I was fucking choked.
But at the same time,
Because like when they won Alberta, all of us unanimously was like, well, yeah,
Right?
of course. Every band has off nights, and them on their off night was still like the highest fucking caliber. And then they would do this unison scream thing where Greg does the lows and Wes goes high, and Wes is screaming like an F sharp or something on a piano. I was like, fucking crying. There's just blast beats. We all talk about, we were playing together in Red Deer, and Casey's drum mic fell off, I think, off the fucking snare drum, and you still heard him. Like, he hits that fucking hard, and the stage is moving. We're all like, Jesus Christ. It was great. And their songs were good, and they had that one song that started with like, hear no evil, speak no evil, wah, and you just like, I just came. And then they didn't win Vakken, and we were all like, fuck Vakken. We were all really pissed. At least I was really pissed.
If you'll excuse me for a second, I got to use the potty.
Yeah, do what you gotta do. I gotta ask you, what was your favorite show you've ever played to date?
To date, the favorite show we've ever played to date, that Vern's one with World Class White Trash was a lot of fun. Okay. I got one. This is bad. I got one. One of my favorite shows was, and it's not favorite for a good reason. We did the Vakken the Vakken trials. What do you call them?
All those
Tryouts.
battles, whatever.
Battles. Yeah, we did one of the first. Alex was still new to the band, so it's quite a few years ago. But we did it, and in Vancouver, it's the most fucked up thing I had ever seen in my life. The band would perform. There'd be the audience in front, right? And they did it at the Red Room, and the Red Room is a really cool stage. It has a really cool sound guy, and the booking agent of the Red Room, and the Red Room itself. Everything about it is rad. Even the load-in is easy. They got a massive door and an alley. It's really cool. The staff is fucking awesome. All the servers there are great. But you would play your set, whatever it's 20 minutes, 30 minutes, I don't fucking remember. And then the judges who were sitting behind like a panel table thing, they tell the crowd to leave. Like, leave the sides. Yeah. See, the look on your face, because we thought this was normal. But I've talked to everybody else involved in other towns. They're like, that's not what happens.
Yeah.
They made the band come down, and they fucking American Idol judged everyone in the room. And they went as far as to be like, you need guitar lessons. That was me. They said that too. You need to take this more seriously. You're not as funny as you think you are. And they would like rip apart each member. They flat out told one band, you either need to go back to your jam space for 6 months and practice relentlessly, or you need to rethink your career choices.
What the?
So that's probably my favorite one because I remember this first band played. I think they're called Crucifixion, and solid bros of mine. And this is why they're solid. No matter what show those guys play, what band is on the bill, you'll see at least two of the. Oh fuck! I don't get this wrong. I think 4 members. You'll see at least 2 of them are in front or backstage, somehow supporting the band that is playing. They had this one dude, their vocalist, he wears glasses. I can't remember his name, but he's always been nice to me. And he watches in case something in your rig fucks up, and he like tries to fix it.
Oh, I love people like that.
Solid dude. And they ripped this band apart. And I got mad, and I started calling the judges on their shit. And they'd be outside like smoking or whatever. I'm like, what the fuck, man? And then like it didn't clue to me that we had to play still.
Oh.
So Alex is in the band. We go out there. We do our shtick, whatever it is. I do this thing where I talk to the crowd and I make fun of people in the crowd. And I did this one. I had assumed when we walked out on stage, I was like, there's no way we are continuing because they're already mad at me. So I'm going to push this over the edge. Yeah. And Alex is like, cool. And we went out there, and I was like, "Oh, submitted for your approval, Your Highness." And I like did this like arrogant like bow thing. Like, and then we played, and they lined us up, and they ripped us the fuck apart. They said shit like, "DJ, I don't know if you're trying to moonlight as a comedian or if you're trying to be a musician." One guy said that we're just straight not brutal enough. Which is hilarious.
You were probably not trying to laugh also at this whole point. You didn't give a shit.
I bought her, to be honest.
No, I'm standing beside Alex, who, if you watch us live, he like the first night of tour, he put his arm through our light box, so we had to go buy more plexiglass for the light box. This has become a regular occurrence. Yeah. He often breaks the light box. He breaks. He
goes hard.
Hey, gorgeous thing. Look at you.
That is marbles.
Hey, marbles.
Coming to invade your space.
Come on in. Ow. God, your claws fucking suck. But
she's
hey,
all
sorry.
about, she's all
we
about
did. We
that.
just clipped her front one. She resists quite frequently.
Hey. But yeah, Alex loses his shit, and it's great because it makes for a good show and stuff. And nobody's in danger. It's not like that kind of lose your shit. But like they just ripped us apart, and I remember like chuckling inside, going like, "We paid $75 to do this. To do this. This is amazing. This is absolutely amazing." And then they ripped every band apart, and bands that are like, okay, I will not do the injustice of stating the names of the judges nor the names of the bands. Mm-hmm. But if I told you the bands that they ripped apart, you'd be like, what? Bands that you've all most likely have seen because they've appeared at least a Calgary Metal Fest or a Moments Fest or Loud as Hell. Hey,
I think I know of one that you might be mentioning, but I won't say.
Yeah, or Loud as Hell or something like that. Like these premier festivals, these great bands have appeared at, and
he's a liquor too.
Just
be careful. Oh my.
Hey,
she is really unreal.
She really wants attention. Sean, let's speedball through a few of these ones so that we can get to the real serious ones.
Right, okay.
You got 16, 17, 18?
All right, yeah, I'll just rip through these.
Can I put you down, Marbles, or you're going to attack me?
Okay, so that was your favorite? Was that your favorite show to date?
Yes.
Anyway.
Okay.
She wants you, man.
Here, I'll take it. Come here, girl.
Anyway, what's been your funniest tour experience besides that one?
Funny haha or funny you just kind of throw your hands up in the air and go,
Let's
well,
go funny
that's
to throw your hands up in the air.
the same tour. We simultaneously blew a water pump while driving between Grand Prairie and Edmonton. I think we're going to Grand Prairie. We blew the water pump on our van, and that's when we discovered it was, I need Ryan here to explain it, but it's a single belt system. So we lost steering, we lost power, we lost everything.
Oh, shit.
And we were in the middle of buttfuck nowhere, and we're like, well,
Impromptu show.
woo, woo. And that was, you kind of throw your hands up because it led to, wasn't that big a deal. We had BCA, so we called BCAA. And they came out and got us. And in the meantime, somebody had gone ahead to this other small town that was in between there that they grabbed a hotel. And then that's when we found that it was a day that none of the mechanic shops that were open would help us. And the ones that were open, or could help us rather, the ones that were open wouldn't lend us some socket tool, to the point of Ryan had to go and buy something and begin tracing out, I want to call it a gasket. He started tracing out a new gasket on the material from like a Google drawing, and it took him like 7 hours in the hotel parking lot to repair this bloody water pump when there was a mechanic shop right beside that should have like,
Yeah, it would be a gas.
just come right up.
I'm sorry, she wants to be your friend.
So
Okay.
punching in and knowing my slight mechanics experience, I'm guessing you lost a water pump or
Yeah.
it
Yeah.
popped
Lost
up.
water pump.
Yeah.
Yeah, it was. Yeah, that was. You just throw your hands up and like, okay, almost late for the show, the whole nine. But then it is what it is.
I'm guessing
Hey,
it was.
marbles.
So yeah, a gasket on the
Yeah.
cap or whatever.
What's your scariest tour moment then on top of that? Since I'm guessing that was probably not too fun, but have you had any scary moments on tour?
Scary. I know the guys have had things happen like Alex has been woken up by somebody coked out, firing up a chainsaw, screaming, "Don't fuck with my family."
Jesus Christ.
That's happened to
Fun.
That's happened to Alex. We just about rear-ended somebody doing like a $120 here. Ryan looked away for a split second and looked back. I was like, "Oh, it's a red light." That was kind of fucked up. I don't think scary. I don't think we really have anything like, "Oh my God, my life's in jeopardy." Minus that red light thing fucking sucked. No, we're pretty.
Was that here?
Yeah.
Nice.
Yeah, that was something. You would have, that would have been a weird phone call to give you guys.
Hey guys, yeah, we can't make the podcast or the show. Why? We're actually at the hospital right now.
Yeah. I should bring your cameras, bro.
We'll do it here.
Fuck it, we'll do it
A
live.
scary moment for me personally would have been shooting the burn video. We ran out of time to do the band shots, and the fire marshal was there trying to shut us down because like there's a time limit on your fire permit thing.
Yeah.
And so we were just like windmilling, and I got too close to flames, and I'm like, "What's that burning smell?" Don't care. Get the shot. And it was close enough that I had soot up my nose for like 3 hours trying to
So
clean
you almost
out.
had a Michael Jackson incident.
Yeah, well, no, there was no kids.
Oh, that's a spicy ginger chicken there.
Yes.
That never get
Oh,
old.
great.
Spicy ginger chicken.
What country or part of a country would you love most to tour?
I really want to do the States next. I desperately want to do the States next.
I think you guys would do really well there.
Selfishly,
I agree, yes.
Selfishly, I want to go see Newfoundland and Nova Scotia. Selfishly, because I hear like the Atlantic side of Canada is just unbelievably
And the
gorgeous.
people are just like hobbits, nice like hobbits.
Have you been there?
No, I dated a Newfie, and she's crazy, but the family was nice.
Nice. Okay,
Oh, yeah.
then that's on
Newfie
camera.
Families are nice.
They feed you very well. They
Oh yeah, they'll feed the fuck out of
That's
you.
what I mean, like hobbits. They have like they eat all the fucking time, and it's wholesome food. Crazy, right?
I dated a Newfie lady, so
Hey, me
I know
too.
what's up.
I blame that. I blame the Irish blood.
I speak Japanese, so I'd love to go to Japan. That'd be a thing for me. Europe, obviously, every band that plays the genre we do would want to go to Europe.
Yep.
But we tend to take longer than everybody else to do something because we're trying to do it the best way, most stable way possible. That's why, like, a lot of bands have been going to the States, and we're still like, we're 12 years deep and haven't dipped our toe across the border yet.
I didn't realize you guys have not played the States once yet, because
not
I know
once.
X-Pain has gone numerous times in the past
They're
3
just
years.
starting to tour now more into the States.
Yep. And awesome. Good for them.
Yeah.
If for the longest time it was just this scary beast and the border was terrifying. Since then we have a management team now, lawyers, stuff like that. They can figure out the visas for us, and we'll just stick to writing tunes and breaking
Yeah.
light boxes.
Hell yeah.
All right, I'll take this one. If Without Mercy could, what would be the dream lineup of bands that you would love to tour with?
Even Alive or Dead?
Alive or Dead.
Whitechapel, Pantera, Dream Theater, Exit Strategy, Slipknot, Nuclear Oath, Crimson Caliber.
Don't fucking lie to me like that.
Top of my head, I'd say that. I mean, I'm buddies with Chris Broderick. He's a good friend of mine, and I've been bugging him like a son of a bitch to let us tour with Active Defiance.
That would be
That would be
wicked.
fun.
It would be great because I was like, we could do this teacher-student duel where like I basically just come out with a super soaker because I know I can't win. and he looks at me because like I feel like he's still trying to get my humor because it's pretty fucking out there. Most people struggle, so he's always like, "You're fucking. What the hell's wrong with you?"
I could see you and Chris kind of like a combo with like Devin Townsend and Steve Vai, with him as the apprentice and teacher.
Yeah, well, Broderick is good enough to be the apprentice and teacher by himself, and I'll just be the guy that like loads gear.
You teach yourself how to do stuff. I'll just bring you your drink.
Yeah, like Broderick's the coolest fucking guy, and he's got a great sense of humor. If you ever get the privilege to talk to the guy, he's so fucking funny.
Oh man, I would if I'm ever fortunate or lucky enough to talk to Chris Broderick, I will. Damn, I've not passed that up.
He's a very kind human being. Dimebag nice. Dimebag nice.
I've heard that he was just the nicest motherfucker on the planet.
Yep, Dimebag nice. He's reached that echelon.
Oh damn. Well, we're reaching into the final few here. What's your opinion on the current state of music? Whether it's just how everyone goes about doing their things, or just the overall encompassing industry that we're all a part of.
Wow. Tough one because I'm a businessman too, so that's a tough one. I think radios should step the fuck up and start playing some of these junior bands that are around because frankly you'll get more listeners. It's just the way it is. Streaming services should really be taking a hard look at on how they're paying their artists, and I don't give a shit about Without Mercy, but I do give a shit that there's that bass player guy or that famous jazz guy was like, I have 300 million plays and I was given 10 grand.
Joe Bonamassa, I believe.
Oh, it better not be Joe Bonamassa. That guy's the shit, dude.
I think it was.
I think it was.
Yeah,
Oh
it
my
was.
God. Like that they need to take a hard look at that. But you know what? It's on an up climb or it's
progressing.
Yeah, it's going to a positive direction. It really is now. They can bitch and moan all they want about the genre that we're playing, but
We still have
common.
an active scene. I think we're just now wait 5 years for everyone who is smart or even relatively smart enough to use this technology to figure it out properly. And then, like you said, for maybe some of these kinks and issues to get dealt with and properly sorted. And in the age we live in, it's really hard to hide.
yes.
So
Yes.
I think if, as a base, regardless of genre, the community can stick up for itself, we're going to see a very positive upswing, like you said, in the next 5 to 10 years.
100%.
With that, what's the biggest positive you can see happening in our current state of music in Canada?
There's some dope ass fucking bands and podcasts like this one and YouTube channels and whatever you want to like paraphrase into it are becoming the standard to switch the game. Your tips and tricks thing. Nobody used to do that, to the regard of nobody used to do that for free.
Yeah.
Everyone would be like, I deserve blah, blah, blah. And I'm sure you're going to ask me like other styles of questions this will come up with, but entitlement is killing every small town scene every single time. Every single time. When a scene dies, air quotes, it's because somebody got way too entitled and somebody took too much power than they deserved to have, and the scene complacently allowed them to have too much power.
The inability to remove the ego.
Yes, we see it in Vancouver. Like the Vancouver market, it's plagued with unbelievably talented bands that are choked to death by like 2 promoters that somehow finagled and convinced everyone else that they had all of the power. And it's been that way for like, we've only been doing it for 12, 13 years, but like it's been that way since before we started. And the 2 promoters that they rotate through whoever they may be. It might be Jim and this guy or this girl and this dude. And it's always
12, 13
2.
years is still a long time. Like, if we're going to look at Meshuggah, in 12, 13 years, they shaped 3 different forms of modern metal with their
Yeah,
music.
but that's what's fucked up is that in 12 or 13 years, we've seen the cycle repeat at least 4 times. And it's always the same. And you watch the scene get complacent and go, well, I guess that's the way it has to be. Is it?
No,
I mean,
It's complacency and people getting lazy.
Yes.
With it, and
Yes.
I really hope that we start seeing that change, because that's something I've noticed too. You see it kill, or not like kill, but make good promoters give up
Yes.
on what they're doing
Yes.
because of everything there. What's your live rig setup though? If we're going to drive into something a little different, you can take the next one. I'm sorry.
Live rig setup.
Motherfucker, that's mine. Get out of here, Nate. Go to your room.
You're drunk. Go home. Oh, DJ.
Hi, Sean.
I was just wondering what your
Marbles.
live setup is like.
I'm playing a Loomis Custom 7-string by Schecter, and it runs right into my EVH 5150 cab, which is powered by my Kemper Profiler. Yeah, and I'm running real bare bones. I'm going right to the Kemper now. I sometimes have a Voodoo Labs ground control unit that switches between the channels that I've created, or the rigs rather I've created on the Kemper. But as we're getting prepped for the new record, and I'm really trying to learn more about dialing in tone, because I've never been a tone guy. I've been like, I like that sound. Now DJ must learn to play stuff. And if you've seen us play live, you've realized I still have not learned how to play. So that's coming. But the tone is what I'm super interested in just now. I mean,
Well, if you think you can't play, you're in for a fucking surprise tonight.
we're having a friendly podcast. Crimson Caliber goes on and goes tonight, and then
We're gonna
Loomis,
suck justice.
Loomis, Broderick, Petrucci all come out, and they're like, "We've learned Caliber songs," and I'd be like, "I fucking give up.
Yeah.
I fucking give up."
We fired ourselves and hired these guys.
Yeah, it's just like this Omega Dream Team.
good
Devin
old
Townsend
switcheroo.
shows up. Like, holy shit!
Portnoy comes on for the drums.
Holy fuck!
They're playing Death Session.
No, host of your demise.
Oh my god! Actually, Sean's drastically improved that song.
That's
so.
awesome to hear.
Wow, that's my live setup.
Cool.
That's
And
fantastic.
then Chuck Schroeder comes out of the risen from the dead to play this.
I would shit in my pants.
Again,
Then I would come in my pants.
DJ.
again.
hey.
Who is your everyday hero outside of music? I know we kind of brought this up a little bit.
Everyday hero outside of music, aside from like the cheesy ones of like my wife and stuff
Yeah.
like that. Gary V. Gary
what
V.
about Gary V?
That guy don't give a fuck. That guy is everything. Jesus Christ, that guy is like everything I needed to hear at the time I needed to hear it. Everything. That guy took his dad's $3 million wine business, made a $60 million wine business in 3 years with Twitter.
That's
Yes,
bloody amazing.
Please teach me your ways.
Yeah.
And he talks about like, and I believe a lot of the shit. I have the same mentality that he does for like same opinion of things, I should say. He's the man. Just everybody Google Gary V. He's the fucking man. I think we've spoken about Gary V.
We have.
Which is probably what I was like, what the fuck are you doing? Listen to Gary V. Yeah, but yeah, Gary V.
Matt?
No, it's me now.
Well,
Actually.
it doesn't say.
Oh yeah,
who is doing
I
it.
meant it's supposed to be me. Sorry. Are there any standout instances where you can pinpoint where everything clicked in your head, like that moment where you said, "Fuck it, no matter what, this is what I'm doing. I'm crash or burn. I'm giving it my all." Because it seems like that is the mentality you have in this, and I'm wondering when that instance is when you finally let the ignition kind of turn on and stopped resisting it.
Oh, never said this in an interview before. Okay. I'm reasonably sure I've never said this in an interview. It is never outside of the Without Mercy camp. No, I never said this. We used to have a vocalist, and we had an original bass player. It was a female vocalist at the time. Her name was Alexis. And our bass player quit 2 weeks before tour, and we hired a fill-in guy to finish the first tour we were ever going to do that crossed provinces for us. It was huge. It was a terrible tour routing, though. It was like 8 shows in 17 days or something. It was just fucking terrible. I have since improved on tour routing. And we went on the tour, and the bass player we hired to fill in was just a vile human being that was always trying to like push buttons when anyone would listen and create tension amongst like internal conflicts. It was awful. And it ended up, Alexis quit the band, and the bass player quit at the exact same time, deliberately at a crucial juncture, which wouldn't make any sense unless you knew the timeline and what we were doing, but at a crucial juncture in an effort to terminate the band. It was 100%.
Damn. So just a
orchestrated
spiteful,
that way.
vindictive move to try and
100%. And I was at home, and I had said to my wife, I was like, that's it. I'm done. I don't want to play music anymore. That's it. And I remember she said, it's so fucking funny. I was at my wit's end because I was like, I'm $5,000 in debt to this album. I have 2,000 copies of the album left that I haven't sold that has band members on it that aren't in the band anymore. I have merch and posters and stickers of bandmates that aren't in the band anymore. Ooh. We had spent 3 years marketing ourselves as female-fronted death metal. And we don't have a female in the band. We don't even have a fronted in the band anymore. Like, nothing in that sentence makes sense. I'm done. I quit. It's over. And my wife just said, I'm sure she'll be real happy to hear that. I was like, you fuck that. No. And she like left the room. She just left the room.
Dropped
I was like,
the bomb and left.
No. And I'd come out and I don't remember if she was making dinner or what the fuck she was doing. But she knew that's what I needed to hear. And she was like, it's like the equate of the metaphor of like, I'm about to like storm out of the thing. And she's like holding my jacket so I can like get it on as I go out kind of thing. And all she said was, I'm sure she'll be really happy to hear that.
Insert the clip of you sitting on the couch. No, standing up. I'm gonna show them. Start storming out. Her shining the coat and hat as you storm out the window. Or
100%. And I learned a valuable lesson that wouldn't stop. Absolutely no, that wouldn't stop. Now that is also, I must admit, DJ's very young in that story. I'm like 20s, so I'm very piss and vinegar and fuck everybody. No maturity whatsoever. Zero forethought. Somebody did something bad at a show, I'd be like, fuck you, promoter. And that's why that promoter still doesn't book us. And like,
I knew what you wanted though.
What's that?
You knew what you wanted in the
100%.
end,
I knew what I wanted. I wanted it bad enough, and I didn't understand why, if I wanted it so bad, anybody would be able to take it away from me. And that's the mentality I've had ever since. I want it bad enough, you can't take it away from me.
That's awesome. That's great because we're going to do this one fun one that we can go into the serious stuff, and I think that's a great kind of attitude setting for that. But before you go there, you can destroy one film and one album from existence. Which ones go and why?
What, like film, like movie?
Yeah, one movie and one. You can destroy one movie and one album from ever existing. Why do they go and which ones go?
Oh, buddy.
Does that include a franchise? Like, say, like the
No.
So
if you have a franchise, you can only delete one from the franchise.
Return of the Canes, per se.
Don't ever delete Return
I'm
of the
giving
King.
it an example.
Oh my God, I'm such a movie buff too. So this is.
Flutter my dick around.
I knew this wouldn't be a good one.
This is good.
Swan neck away.
Okay, album I could destroy from existence. Let's start with that because that'd be easier for me to pick than a movie.
Okay.
I would destroy our first record, All Else Fails.
Okay. Why would you do that?
Because that and I understand this narcissistic to bring my own up, but that is the album I'm least proud of because I allowed too many outside voices to tell me what to do. And so much of that record, in like the 85-90% of that record, is not what I wanted to put onto a record. Since then, I don't know. We just finished doing drums for our new one, and Matt and I are yelling at each other through that microphone when you push the button and yelling horrible shit. Oh, is that the take we're keeping? Did I miss the memo where we dropped our standards? You're like, you think you're so good? Why don't you come fucking do it? If I fucking did it, it would have been done in one take, not 12. Yeah. And you're like, what? I can't hear you if I don't push the button. Click. all this energy spent yelling when you could have just blasted. It was fun, but yeah, it'll turn out good. He was fucking mad.
Oh man,
it was so good.
Drummers take it the worst. I actually had to send his drummer home on day one of drum tracking the new Caliber record.
Yeah, that'll do it. That'll do it.
He didn't bother.
Movie I have to destroy from existence, though, that is fucking tough. My wife made me watch P.S. I Love You. Fuck that movie.
Okay.
Jesus.
You poor soul.
Why are we watching this?
Sorry.
Can I be honest on the topic of like those sappy romance movies? I'm fortunate enough to have never had to watch The Notebook. So all of y'all,
You're a
is
lucky
okay.
motherfucker. You know that?
Neither have I, but you don't hear me just trying to flex here.
Hey man, it's just the fact that it was a romantic film that was brought up. It's like, you know
I still
what?
haven't seen the Titanic. Are you? So,
What?
How have you not seen Titanic?
Maybe like the first VHS, but not
Dude,
the
the second half is where it picks up. That's when the boat goes.
Yeah, that's when the
That's where it
Yeah, well,
picks
my
up.
mental break broke before
Remember the part where all the people died? Yeah, it's like a great.
Yeah, I could
when
just
it
watch
gets exciting.
You know, I could just
Jesus
watch the
Christ.
start of Ghost Ship, and that'd be just as good, if not better. Everyone's head's just getting diced off.
Oh, I saw her tits. That's the end of that movie.
The first half of Titanic is just Leonardo DiCaprio and Kate Winslet fucking. So.
I feel like these guys are having their own fucking conversation. You, me, and Marbles can just chill.
Yeah. Matt, do you want to finish off the weeb questions?
Okay, this is the painful question. Why do I smell like a bitch, DJ?
I don't think you smell like a bitch at all.
Thank you.
Well, there you go.
good.
Why
You
does
don't
Nate-
want to know why he doesn't smell like a bitch?
Nate,
He uses Without Mercy deodorant. Damn. Okay, so I hope you are all enjoying the interview with DJ Temple from Without Mercy, Temple Entertainment, and Temple Music Academy. We have another band that we want to show you. Sean, tell them what is happening.
All right.
Hostile.
This next band is from the Toronto area.
Ooh,
That's
who would
pretty
that be?
spicy.
that is.
These gentlemen go by the name of BlackGuard.
Ooh.
You can find them on all social media platforms. You can find, or I hope you can.
You sure can. Quick note, all these bands, aside from the last one, were given and provide. Actually, aside from the last two, but these two bands that we've shown you, Hammerdrone and BlackGuard, were provided to us from Asher Media Relations, meaning that you can find all this stuff, because it's already been released, on all streaming sites, on their socials. Just look them up. They're going to be well worth your time. What's the song name,
This
Sean?
one here is "By My Hand" by BlackGuard. This one's also a smasher. Also, get it in ya.
Fuck yeah.
Smashing.
We actually had a little bit of a bet going. I swore up and down when he asked that question, you're gonna say, because you don't shower, silly.
Wow. Apparently, Sean thinks I'm a piece of shit.
Hey,
Sean thinks everyone's a piece of shit.
I think everyone's
makes him
a piece of shit.
makes him
including
feel better
myself.
about him being a piece of shit.
Nate is a piece of shit.
yeah,
And he might smell
I
like a
truly
bitch.
am. I truly am a piece of shit.
We're all pieces of
with
shit.
that, we're going to get into some serious stuff. And ironically, I let Sean take the first three.
All right. Serious stuff. Here
We're
we
getting
go.
into part 2 of this, and this is going to be on YouTube as well. I'm going to do a little editing and snip out stuff so it's a bit shorter versus, I'm sure, what's going to be not too lengthy, but we're probably going to go off topic once or twice. Who knows? With that, let's kick this off.
Kick this shit off. What was the very first thing that you did that led to you founding the Temple Music Academy?
I got fired from Future Shop. I went home and I told my wife to be, we're getting married in 6 months, paying for our own wedding, and I was the only one working. Pretty much the lowest. And when Future Shop fired you, they had processed your termination papers before they ever told you. So you getting fired is cut off. They paid you at midnight and you're done. You get no more money.
Wow.
It was dirt. But you know what? They're not in business anymore.
So
Yeah.
fuck them.
Suck ass.
I had to go home and tell my wife to be that I just lost my job. I don't know how we're making rent, let alone getting married. Basically preparing for her to leave me. I mean, why wouldn't you? I woke her up because she was having a nap. And I said, I just got fired. And she's like, are you being serious? Is this one of your like DJ jokes where you tell me and then the kid was dead? Because I tell a lot of jokes like that.
DJ jokes.
And I was like, no, I'm dead serious. And she said, well, your boss, Scott, was a dick anyway. I did not like the kind of person he was making you into. You need to find a way to play guitar for a living because that's what you really want to do. And this is just going to keep happening until you do that. So her and I brainstormed. And it was like, okay, well, the most logical thing is to become a teacher. So how do I become a guitar teacher? And then because I'm a very goal-oriented person, I just worked out like what has to happen. Okay, you have to not suck at guitar. Okay, I'm kind of fucked there. So, okay, you need a lesson plan. You need training. You need students. You need this. How do you get? And then it just became this business plan. And I'm very fortunate. There's a lot of people in my life, like my one friend Joe. He makes like $1.5 million a year if he's lazy. Like he's just a brilliant businessman. That might be an exaggeration, Joe. I'm sorry if you watch this because I know you vicariously watch everything I do in your crazy fucking nice house that you bought cash. And I would go to he's the one that said, just quick side note, sorry. He's the one that said put fuck pussy metal on a shirt.
That's cool. That's cool.
Like it's him. He was like, that's cool and all, but like, why isn't it on a shirt yet? You say it often enough. I'm like, okay.
Yeah, why not, right?
I put it on a shirt. But yeah, and then I had his advice of like, how do you start teaching? What do you do? Like, where do you start? Where do you get a job teaching? How do you become a decent teacher? Blah, blah, blah. It led to me working at a couple of places in Abbotsford and then eventually Long McQuaid and Port Coquitlam. And then I left Long McQuaid, Port Coquitlam, started teaching out of my house. As I got a better clientele, I started doing a little advertising and then it just got too big to have at my home. So I opened the Temple Music Academy by negotiating a lease. Kind of a long-winded answer, but that's how it
That
went.
was exactly what I was looking for.
That was perfect.
Now, can you tell us where the Temple Music Academy is located?
Right now, the time of this podcast, because hopefully I have 47 locations in one day. In one day, I do.
That'd be awesome.
It's in Abbotsford, BC, and it's located on West Railway Street at 2603 West Railway Street. We are above Willow Video, which we have hooked up a good deal. We are the only place in town that has no contracts, no hidden fees, and all ages are welcome. We will teach you as young as 4. My drummer, Matt, that plays it Without Mercy, is now teaching drums there full time. I was able to give my friend a job, for fuck's sakes. It's amazing, amazing feeling. And come see us. You'll have some fun. It's a lot of fun.
I also heard they just recently hired a keyboard teacher as well.
We did, and then we let her go. So, I mean, that was the thing.
That's fun.
That was the thing. We have a habit, because I have such a standard of what I want. Let me finish this thought because it's going to sound weird. I don't care about the teacher's ability to play. I give a shit about their attitude and the vibe they give off. If I get any inclination that it's one of like these scenarios where the nose is in the air, you're done. I don't care if you have 100 students. I don't care how much money you make from me. And in this particular situation, she was a rad person, but didn't like the the like amount of students that she would be taking on in the like it was just too much at once. It was kind of a pipe dream. She thought she'd teach piano on the side kind of thing, and it didn't work out. Yeah, it was that's the word I'm looking for. It was just overwhelming. Nice person, rad, still talk to her. She's super cool, but just wasn't up for it.
Okay.
All right. What were the roadblocks that you experienced during the time that you're trying to found it?
I don't think we have enough time.
Okay.
That. But I'll give you my favorite ones.
Sure.
I belong to something called the Downtown Business Association, where my competition held a high enough seat to dictate the signage I was allowed to put outside my business. So I still don't have a sign outside my business because they won't approve, air quotes, the drawings done by an engineer. So in true DJ fashion, I was like, okay. And I talked to a lawyer who said there was no bylaws to painting an 80-foot mural on the side of your building. So I painted an 80-foot mural on the side of my building in bright colors that said the Temple Music Academy and a rock star
Dude,
thing.
yes, that's the best fuck you in the world. I love
There's
that.
probably a middle finger somewhere there.
Bam. Oh, that's awesome.
That too.
That's beautiful.
Dealing with the city for anything. The city does, I truly believe the city of Abbotsford, for the most part, has the business owner's best ambitions and best dreams at heart and all that stuff. But the amount of red tape for me to like just reno something it's astronomical. Even to in my first 12 months being there. Well, no, what are we in now? March?
Yeah.
So November, December, January, February, March. Okay, so that's right. For 16 months being there, I've had 4 rent increases. First day of tour, I woke up to a thing from my new landlords because they sold the building that said, we've reassessed the 2018 tax assessment. Your rent's going up $300 plus the $100 per thing over here, and you're going 40% per square foot on this. And then they have a different square footage that I have, which adds like 200 square feet. So that's what I'm going home to Monday morning.
Fantastic.
Damn.
Yeah.
Oh,
That's
shoot. That's
super shitty.
ridiculous. So obviously with Temple Academy, you do a whole lot more than just teach. What else do you do for the Temple Music Academy?
Well, there's 2 entities, right? So there's the Temple Music Academy and then there's Temple Entertainment. The Temple Music Academy deals with music lessons. We try to do charity things where we go into elementary schools and we teach their music program for free because there isn't one. That's kind of my homage to Mr. Ward that we mentioned earlier there, that he was doing all this crazy shit. I was like, I want to give this back. So there's that whole aspect. And now we've recently launched our apprentice program. So like anybody in this room that was competent at their instrument, if you wanted to do what I did, where I figured out how to teach and how to get a business going on your side, you could do our 1,000-hour apprentice program. And then you could come back to Medicine Hat and open your own school. And if you were that competent, we would talk about opening a Temple Music Academy out here, and you would get it, you would run it, and we would just work a thing out, which has been rad. So
That's
right
fantastic.
now I have 2 people doing the apprentice program. One is almost done, his first stage, because it's a 3-facet, right? There's the learn to be a teacher, there's learn to run admin, and then there's learn to run your business and create a brand. When you're done all of those, it equals about 1,000 hours, and then you're good to go. And you become like a right-hand man to me, and I can go tour, you can handle lessons, and then you can go tour because hopefully you got your thing, and I'll handle your lessons. And it's like this buddy system instead of this cutthroat competition thing. That's the Music Academy. The Temple Entertainment will deal with anything a band needs to get done. I thought you should have had a face you could trust and a brand you could trust. And the easiest way to do that was to start a business where you knew you had to pay me and you knew I was making money off of it. So it just didn't create any kind of like smokescreen. We do websites, graphics, logos, videos. We'll do tour booking, basically anything an indie band needs help with. You call us. Fuck, we even do your taxes now. We hired a actual like CPA, legit accountant, specializing in self-employed people that are musicians, and it's just this fucking thing. People think though, I think they think it's like me in QuickBooks doing your taxes. It's not me. There's an actual accountant.
I actually genuinely thought it was you doing doing other people's taxes.
No, the guy is actually really cool. I spoke to him back in August when I set up my QuickBooks, and I haven't talked to him again since because I've been getting all my other shit in order because you know how it is. You think you got everything figured out, and one thing throws everything out of whack.
100%.
But it's more than just DJ there. He's got some really cool, competent people helping him out.
Yeah, I honestly just thought you're just really good at doing taxes, so you're like, fuck it, I'll just do these band's taxes.
No, there's certain legal things that would be involved with that, so we got an actual accountant to do it.
How did you manage to fund both Temple Entertainment and Temple Music Academy? Because that's got to be quite the thing to start.
I borrowed a lot of money from a bank to open the music academy, and I left a little bit of money to take guitar lessons with everybody in town, and I played left-handed, so they couldn't tell I knew how to play. And I had prefabbed 5 questions that I would ask them, theory questions or like how to play a riff or whatever. And then I got some friends to call and try and book lessons for their friend to see how they dealt with them on the phone. And then we had like all of our major competition, how they laid it out. And we're like, okay, that was worth $5,000. I would have spent $50,000 to get that information.
That's valuable because you know how everyone conducts their business, so you can differentiate yourself from the competition and give everyone what they are not.
I know this will sound like bragging, but I'm genuinely excited about it. From day one to like now, we have 75 students registered in our programs.
That's amazing.
Congratulations.
We have a
fantastic.
massive wait list, and I'm about to roll out this secret thing I'll tell you guys about off camera. That's going to change the game. That's it. I win. Yeah, my competition that is 200 feet. We had this little disagreement because they were trying to start shit with me and my landlord. And my music school is right beside one music school and in front of another music school. It's really fucking funny. And I'm not proud of this because I said it out of anger, but I said, you still exist because I allow you to exist. The day I choose that you should not be here anymore, I will rent your building. And
I must also know with words like that, you bet you are also able to step it up to it.
well, I think the issue is like, if I do a blast call to arms to Facebook and say, guys, help, I'm about to lose my music school because of XYZ, I think a lot of fucking people are going to start flying into Abbotsford and saying, what do you... And somebody called me in Prince George going, you want to help frame a new teaching room? So I'm like, yes, please. Yes, please. Like, you guys are fucking wicked. All these, like, fucking BC to goddamn Newfoundland, there's people that are like, this guy's got a music school. I want to somehow be a part of that. That's what I wanted. Because then you got this 8-year-old kid whose parents are like, metal, and we are slowly changing their stereotypes in a biblical-centered town. They are starting to accept these death metal, like, because if you walk upstairs to our place, my wife painted it purple because she likes purple, and there's a bunch of llamas pictures everywhere, as you can imagine. But then there's like Phil Bozeman in Mid-Scream, Randy Blythe, there's Jeff Loomis, there's Dimebag going, hey, as you walk in the door, there's a Giant Without Mercy poster because I'm narcissistic as fuck. All this shit, and they're like, oh, okay, and then they meet us, we're like, hey, and the kids are like, DJ, I'm like, what's up, dude? And they're all like, oh, wow. We don't go, did you practice this week? That doesn't leave a teacher's mouth. That's in the apprentice program. You say that, you're done here. And the kids are just genuinely jacked. And the parents are like, this is an amazing place. And then on the parent side of it, we don't have contracts. Our price point is great. There's not even taxes on our prices anymore.
Nice.
Like, well, there never was. I shouldn't say anymore. It's like no contract. So if my 8-year-old kid doesn't like it in 3 months, bye.
Yeah, you leave it open to those that want to do it and allow, create an environment that nurtures it, and on top of it, breaks stereotypes that surround the specific genre that you're a part of.
Yes.
I love that because, especially like you said in Armstrong, it's a very
Abbotsford.
Abbotsford. Sorry, my bad.
Jesus, Nate.
I'm sorry.
Pay
Long
attention.
day. But I've been through there a few times, and it's a nice community, but it also has a very religious kind of vibe to it, or just like. Just everyone's very prim and proper almost to an extent. And so to see that, hear that not only it started however long ago we started, now was it 1 or 2 years now?
Well, technically Temple Entertainment started quite a few years ago out of my house, but I would say 14 months or 16 months.
16 months, yeah. But from then to now, it's every month there seems to be some kind of improvement that just shows growth. And I love watching that because for me, that was I think the thing that sold me on how awesome of a person you are, because
here we go.
Doing the business thing, no, because as everyone knows here, like I run a studio and Matt does art, like Sean's in a band, you're in a band. We all have things that we aspire to do on a business end, whether or not it's driven on a passion end. It has to be, but that's beside the point. But for you to take that and then also be like, how can I feed and nurture the next wave and create a better environment? That speaks volumes to your character, because most people would take that idea and either be like, it's not worth my time. I can make more money doing this or doing that. Or, yeah, I could do that. How can I milk these bitches for everything they're worth?
That last one. Oof.
And you are obviously neither of those, and it shows. Like the fact that you're doing as well as you are where you are, I'm excited to see where you are another 16 months from now with that.
Oof, I don't know how to take that. There's too many compliments.
Well,
Swoon.
Swooning. What's the main hardship you encountered when you started trying to take it from bedroom to actual office space?
People. I've lost more friends than I would ever. I've experienced things I never wish another human being to experience, and it all bred from entitlement and stealing and theft and justification on the theft because they weren't paid enough for some magical number of hours or whatever, and then the rumor mill because they thought the best way to like I had someone straight steal a MacBook. And somehow I'm still the bad guy in the scenario. And it's just the classic like high school thing of like, I'm going to do something really bad. Now, before anybody else can know what I'm going to do really bad, I'm going to go over here and beak off lies and exaggerate the story.
Distraction.
And they don't realize that that's slander. Like in a business scenario, that is literally slander. And that's a bad fucking road to go down. But it's been people has been my number one problem. The amount of like staff rotation, because I have that.
You have a standard.
I do have the Gordon Ramsay standard, if you will.
Well, you're building a brand, and you want that brand to be synonymous with a certain attitude, a certain reputation, and anyone who comes in and ruins that, it makes it 10 times harder for you to get it back.
It's death of 1,000 cuts. Like we tried to explode Temple Entertainment across the country in one foul swoop. And there was like 4 people that worked for me. And it was a huge thing that we did in one foul giant swoop. And the millisecond money started coming in, everything shattered. And it was like you could set your watch by it. You could absolutely set your watch by it. I would get messages and emails. Why are you making me do this for free? I'd be like, because they just lost their kid in a house fire. Or why are you making me do this? I should get this. This person gets over here. And the worst is they start comparing themselves. Oh. So like they start bringing up, what's the name of the dude that does lyric videos? Scott Rudd? Scott Rudd. So like Scott Rudd is the one that anybody that ever does a lyric video usually uses Scott Rudd as the standard because his videos look fucking great.
Yeah.
But he's also Scott Rudd, which means he's got an established brand. He's got an established thing. He's allowed to charge whatever the fuck he wants to charge. You can't charge what Scott Rudd charges out of the gate. No, and that was the problem we had. You're an artist.
Yeah, I totally get you. You gotta like.
Yeah, when these are off, we're gonna have a serious convo. I've been thinking long and hard about what you're trying to do, but entitlements and then justification on the negative and horrible actions, and then at the end of the day, like, dude, I had some fucking brutal shit. Like, I'll never forget being on tour and getting a phone call from a band out of, I think, somewhere in Saskatchewan or Manitoba, going, we just got to the first, like, oh, this is a fucking horror story. We just got to our first stop on the tour, and the venue owner doesn't know who the fuck we are. There's no show. There's no posters. I paid you $1,000 to, or I'm making that up. I think it was like $500 to book this tour. What the fuck? And my heart sank because I had no idea who the fuck the band was. I didn't do any of this. And it was somebody else that was working for me, took a job on the side, and booked this tour, and money exchanged hands
under your name,
under my name, but no money, no pay, because we have fail safes. When you ask me for a job, you get an invoice or a work order. I think you and I did a work order where I was like, okay, before you fucking read the total, read the things, because it's everything.
It was like $3,000. I was like, Jesus Christ, that's a lot for shirts. And I was like, oh, wait a minute.
Yeah, it's every shirt he could possibly do for us.
It's like the proposal I sent you for your solo track. Like, I wanted you to know everything we're going to do.
There's that, and then there's the, after we talk, I send you a summary of the agreement and like what you're asking me to do, and then it's in a single. I don't know who the fuck this band is, but they're under my name and they're under my header, and there was no promo, and money was exchanged hands, and my heart sank because I'm like, this is a fraud thing.
Yeah. And
then it equated to I confronted the person and I said, you can't work for the company anymore. That's it. You're done. And then they did it again. And then I was like, holy fuck. And there was like monies taken for logos. And I'm like, they're not even the logo guy. The logo guy's over here, this area of the company. Like the logo guy and the tour routing people don't talk. It's structure of business. Oh, we did it. That's the worst thing. So yeah, people. People have
Damn.
been the most atrocious thing that I've ever had.
Well, that would have made me fucking live it straight up.
It is, and then there's zero fallout for it. That person's still around. They still got the money. It happened so many times that eventually one band, I won't say who it was because I don't believe that it was done out of malice. It was just they were angry at the time. It's like a 5-piece band. Every single one of them one-starred the company. Every single one. And I'm the guy that monitors the company's ranking in the Google
Those
tracks.
1 stars hurt.
Yeah, and it was so many in a row. And it was just like bam and bam and bam and bam. And then Reagan used to work for me, and there was some guy that had a beef with Reagan out here. So he one-starred the company because him and Reagan had a beef.
Oh, I think I know who you're talking about.
I think I know too.
Well,
Yeah. Again,
won't go into that.
again, people.
Damn, that's
Spiteful, greedy
Matt,
people.
do you want to take these next 2 here?
Okay, on the more positive notes about Temple, is there any astounding successes it's worth noting about entertainment and the academy?
You're going to find this weird. I don't think I'm successful yet. I don't
Not
think...
unsuccessful though.
Okay. At home, I have this like goal book. And I do this thing called a goal setting workshop where I just by myself for a couple of minutes or hours or however long it takes, start doing these goals. I think it's cool that there's a building with my name on it. That's fucking cool. I think it's really cool that business is still running full force while I'm out here with the other brand I basically built with the whole Without Mercy thing. I think that's fucking cool. But I'm not satisfied yet. And I'm not at the point I want to be at where it's like, fuck yeah.
Still hungry.
You always got to be hungry. Exactly. You always got to be hungry because that's when you stop.
Yeah.
Yeah, no, that's great. Matt, go on to the next one, actually.
Any pros and cons when it comes to running Tempo Music Academy and Tempo Entertainment?
Aside from dealing with people.
Yeah, people seems
Yeah.
the major dent there.
Pros are easy to talk about. Pros are every time I have money to buy my wife anything she needs, like new clothes or shoes or whatever, or like her, if a family member's passed away and she needs to take a last minute flight and I can pay for that, or anything I can possibly do to anything ever. She literally just texted me, hi. That is the hugest thing in my life.
Now she's texting Sean.
Yeah, exactly. She doesn't do charity. Don't worry. Ooh.
We might get that cut out.
No, I accept that.
It stays.
That's cool. Cons are,
People.
yeah, I mean, it's the toughest fucking thing ever. And to not be able to just go, we good? And they're like, yeah, we're good. And you're like, oh, cool, that's it. No, I got to get it in writing and then triplicate it and then duplicate the triplicate and then...
Paper trail, basically, to cover your own tracks.
It's absolutely ridiculous. Even just like the lease shit has been like, you got to be fucking kidding me. You got to be fucking kidding me.
Well, I'm going to get into because it seems the themes of the ones I'm picking are the difficult, prying ones.
Nate.
I personally feel in music nowadays, if you want to be a successful musician, you need to be a successful entrepreneur as well.
Okay.
With that team is you're kind of that as well. What is the one harsh reality you had to come to terms with when you went down that road and actually started putting your efforts into it?
You ain't shit. Nobody gives a fuck about you. Nobody will ever give a fuck about you. Stop crying, do something, and stop giving a fuck what other people think.
Fuck yeah.
I can simplify that into 2 words. Get good.
Well,
Yeah.
I mean, the issue that you run into, like, as a band, here we go. Okay, as a band, the issue is it is an art form which should never be judged. It should be subjective, but it is constantly judged, and you are given opportunities, and opportunities are taken away from you based on what you've done, how you've said it, who you've done, which is literally a problem, and what you plan to accomplish, and then how you're dressed while you're doing it, how you speak while you're doing it, what interviews did you do, how much money are you willing to throw behind this thing? Well, I'm willing to get printed tickets. If you sell me 10 tickets, then I'll give you a cut of the last 10% of the first 5% of the people that come through the door that are over 19 and wearing a hat.
the mental lingo there.
The fucking shit you have to do is absolutely ridiculous. And then that's the problem, is after you do it for 4 or 5 years, you start to say things like, I shouldn't have to sleep in a van. I shouldn't have to be the second band on. We are more of a band that goes only last. Or we are more of this, that, the other thing. And that's the entitlement that will kill you. And you're done. You're dead in the fucking water the second you start talking about that. The way Without Mercy runs is... we all give each other insane amounts of shit to the point of, like, I wouldn't say tears, but like we if I was doing this interview right now and I was like a pompous fucking dick,
They call you on it.
they don't call me on it. Like, I'll get thrown against the van. Ryan will be like, what the fuck? Who, what? Oh, DJ's real tough? Like, what the fuck? Alex will, like, chew me out. Matt is really chill, but Matt will be like, it's not cool, DJ. That's not cool. We don't do that. And that somehow hurts more than...
Well, dude, it's when the quiet one goes, I'm disappointed in you.
Yeah.
Disappointed.
Oh, it's that D word.
It's everything down to...
I'm disappointed in you, man.
I mean, we don't really have the time to get into, like, the fiscal way that it's structured, but, like, even money... With us, it's not like, well, the shirts are $100. That means it's 25 and 25 and 25, 25. I paid my 25. Why didn't you pay your 25? Well, he can't pay his 25 because he just lost his house. Well, I don't fucking care, man. If we don't take this seriously, you're not going to pay your $25. Now, granted, $25 is such a minuscule amount that I hope everyone in the room was like, holy fuck, really?
Yeah.
Now, in my brain, the way that I am wired, which my wife has explained to me very detailed, is not normal, is $25 is the same as if you said $1,000. To me, I think the exact same about $1,000 as I do about $25. Christ, $10,000.
It's not the value.
It's not, because I want to do it so fucking bad that I don't get, like, we didn't have a tour van because like I said, we got sponsored by a mechanic. Mm-hmm. So the van that we had when I saw you guys last time was on the hoist, and I got a call saying, you need to come down here. I came down, they're like, your rear diff is gone. That's at least $3,000 with your discount. Jeez. Your tires are fucked. Your tranny is giving us sounds we do not appreciate. So I'm like, okay, so the van's dead. He's like, I'm sorry, DJ, the van's dead. So I need to buy a new van. You need to buy a new van. What do you think it's going to run me? 20 grand. Okay. I went and got $20,000 from the bank. I'm not saying I had $20,000 stash around. My brain was just like, need 20 grand. DJ, go borrow money. And my wife was like, cool. Because like, she knows. She's like, it's just your dog with a bone at that point.
Yeah.
So I went and got $20,000. And I called our bass player, Ryan, who's the car guy, and I was like, can you come with me? I've lined up 3 places for us to check out looking for these vans. And we just spent an afternoon going. Boom. And we looked at all these vans. We made a deal on the guy. I was like, I got 10 grand cash money. And we ended up buying the van we have now for 10 grand. I put it right on my debit card. And Ryan and I have never spoken about the 10 grand again. I don't bring it up to my guys. I don't be like, you fucking owe me 10 grand. The only thing we shared was management wanted a bunch of money up front. And because we've run this way so long and we still run this way, I just say to the guys, I can't afford it. I can't afford like 5 grand or 6 grand or whatever. Can we divide this? Mm-hmm. And someone in the band over the course of the life of the band has always been in a position where they're like, we can't. I don't even have $3. I'm like, what do you mean you don't have $3? Why, I'm fucking broke. Why are you on tour and you're broke? Here's money. Like we've always just done that because money will tear you the fuck apart. It tears relationships apart, and a band is just a marriage with 3 or 4 other people, and it's fucking. And I understand that that's not normal, and everybody's in a different position where they're like, well, I put my 25 in, and I want my 25 back. I get that, but it's the grander scheme of things. Do you want your $25 back for that shitty shirt design that you bought from an artist in Indonesia, or do you want to be at Hellfest next year? Like, which one's really more important?
I'd rather be at Hellfest.
Like. And that's just how I wire. Ryan and I are the two. I don't know how to say this. That doesn't sound like.
Thinkers?
No, Ryan and I are the 2 guys that have been doing our industry long enough that we've kind of financially set ourselves up for a little bit more play. I'm not saying we're well off or anything like that. Even Alex now is in the concrete game. He's doing well, but like we're in a position where we can just go, should we? Yes, kind of. How much? I got this, you got that, cool. And then we just move on.
It's more plausible with your like financial position is what you're saying.
Yeah, but even when it's not, like we straight up didn't have the money to record, but we were forced to have to get the recording booked because there was an issue with timing. Okay, what are our options here? Well, I got an empty credit card. Okay.
Damn.
And then we just threw like 5 grand or whatever on the credit card. And then the person whose credit card it is, which I won't say, could be me, could be Ryan, could be Matt, could be Alex. It's irrelevant because it's all the same. We go, it took us 3 months to pay it off. Okay, so it's 3 months now, it's paid off. Well, how much interest was on that? We should probably pay the interest. So what were your interest payments? And because we run it this way, most people are like, whatever, I don't fucking care. It's paid off. I don't give a shit. Okay, the next person. Mm-hmm. Money will kill you, so why move it as an obstacle?
No, that's I think really insightful because I think it'll play into a few conversations we might have later on off camera too. Because it, like you said, it destroys relationships and it can really make things awkward. And
yes,
everyone should
Hi, Kat.
figured out. Hi, yes, Mittens has come.
That's
Skip-
wonderful.
This is
let's-
Mittens.
Hey, Mittens.
Yeah. The
Marbles
second
is
question I
twin
had
sister.
was actually answered midway because it was the one thing you had to learn when you decided to go into this, and I feel like you kind of nailed that right off the hop. But let's dive into Mr. Ward briefly, since you kind of answered this one. But I want to know a bit more about what he did to open that door for you.
Biggest thing, Mr. Ward. Oh, I can't even say biggest thing because if we talk long enough, I'd come up with 100 anecdotes. But Mr. Ward, I don't know if he was doing it on purpose, and I really hope you see this, Mr. Ward. But like, he did things like took us to jazz festivals, and like, he played in a band who I believe were called the Moonlighters, where he was a trumpet player and like a singer in this like classic band with like, you know, the podiums in front of them with the logo. And he was playing in there's a town 30 minutes from me called Chilliwack, and they were playing the Chilliwack Jazz Festival. I was in grade 12, and he had told the entire band class, I'm playing this jazz festival tonight. And it was a Friday night. He's like, you guys should come watch me play. And I came home, and I just, something in the air, I was like, I want to go see this jazz festival. And my parents were like, all right. My dad dropped me off and gave me, because tickets were expensive. He gave me like $100 because it was expensive tickets. Mr. Ward guest listed me. And I watched him play originally just so I could have something to talk about on Monday, because I was really a guy that just played video games all weekend. I was a loser.
Join the club.
But
Yeah, join the club.
I remember watching him play. It don't mean a thing if it ain't got that swing. And he was playing trumpet and then singing the parts with this other lady and like doing these melody things. And I remember staring at him and like looking in his eyes. He couldn't see me, but staring at him and looking in his eyes. And he was so genuinely happy and content and in his moment. I was like, that's the first adult I ever really saw genuinely happy with what they were doing and in their moment and was successful in what they were doing. I mean, my dad was a successful entrepreneur guy as well, but I don't think he genuinely loved 1,000% what he did. I think it was kind of like, oh, I did this because, like, martial arts and guitar to me, my dad was a diver, like a free diver. Like he would like scuba dive and shit, and he could go miles underwater, hold his breath for minutes. It was this whole thing. But when given the opportunity to choose, he went stability. It became a refrigeration mechanic thing. And you'd always talk about the fond memories he had. But I never understood why you wouldn't just pursue what you really, really wanted to do. It just didn't make any sense to me. And then I saw Mr. Ward do it, and I was like, I have no matter what I do. And then I got into college, and I was like, I fucking hate college. This is stupid. And I started teaching, we'll just call it karate because it's a weird combination of martial arts. So I just started teaching karate full time. And then that wasn't going good politically. And I was like, musician. And then I just started to become a musician. It's weird.
Damn, that's awesome for him to do so much for you in that moment.
Yes.
Like that's amazing.
I'll take this next one.
Okay, yeah.
What is some advice that you would give to young musicians picking up their very first instrument?
In what regard? Like they're the hobbyist or they're trying to start a band?
Starting a band.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. Can I do both?
Yeah,
Yes.
do both.
Okay. Okay, if you're a young musician just starting music lessons for the sake of like whatever reason starting music lessons, your parents want you to practice because they're throwing so much money at this because it's expensive. They're throwing money at your lessons that they want to feel some sense of value. Learn to shut your parents up by playing 20 minutes a day in front of them. Because the reality of playing a musical instrument is you are unaware of the benefits it will give you in life. It is not something that is easily tangible with what it will do for you in life. You might be playing drums and going like, well, I'm never going to be a drummer. I just want to play drums. But you're like the discipline you will learn, the success, the feelings, all the like emotional stuff that comes, it's fucking worth just playing 20 minutes of like Sweet Home Alabama so your mom and dad shut the fuck up. But also learn, as I tell all of my students, to do it in front of grandma and grandma with your case open so that they learn to throw money in the case and you make a little on the side. I say that all the time, and some kids started doing it, and then the parents think it's so cute, and the grandparents that they throw a little thing and they're busking grandchildren. I'm like, yeah, see, got a system.
Yeah, I'm teaching them.
If you're starting out as a band, this is very, very serious to me. If you're starting out as a band, never lose sight of why you want to do it in the first place, and realize that literally everyone else on the planet is out for you to fail. You are nothing. Nobody gives a shit about you. So don't lose focus on why you started in the first place. And just because so-and-so's band got a better gig than you, better is very subjective. Just because you're on a different placement on the bill, tonight we've moved the bill order like 4 times. I just basically gave up and started talking to you about, just tell me when we play.
Yeah, because I generally stay in the know because I need to know what's going on or else my anxiety just goes nuts.
Yeah.
Sean helps coordinate.
That's my advice. Never lose sight of why you do it. And sooner than later, get a mentor. Find someone that's been successful to your definition of successful and ask them how they did it, and don't reinvent the wheel. Just copy and you'll skip ahead 5-6 steps.
Do it for you.
Yes.
That's awesome.
Well, where was that when I started 10 years ago?
Yep.
I think we all could have really benefited from some of this when we first started because I had a decent guitar instructor, but I was more into athletics when I was taking guitar at the same time. And the moment high school ended and I was done with high school athletics, I went right back to music because I was just a better environment. But I wish I had been surrounded by not better people, but a better mentality when I first got into music. Because I think the one thing that killed it for me was myself and a friend of mine going in wanting to learn certain stuff. Well, I just wanted to learn anything, to be honest. But my one buddy was really into bands like My Chemical Romance. And I think the Black Braid came out, so he wanted to learn the riff to Famous Last Words. Wow. And my other buddy was classic metal or nothing, and said, I don't want to play or learn any of that faggoty ass bullshit. And well, that was
Meadows is really.
Yeah, and that atmosphere wasn't snuffed right there. It wasn't like nurturing to be like, oh well, here, let's figure it out. Versus, I think we learned. I don't even know what we learned anymore. Actually, "Smells Like Teen Spirit" I think was the song we landed on.
Yeah. I mean, yeah, it's a beast.
Yeah. Matt.
Actually, can I share an anecdote?
Yeah.
And on my end, I suffer from being entirely self-taught. So it's actually a thing of pride and a thing of, well, it's a thing of ignorance because, well, I could have gotten lessons, but I didn't. I just had to teach myself. And like when I started, my parents were all like, yeah, well, it's probably a phase. You'll stop playing in about 3 days.
My mom still wants me to get that job at Costco. And notice my face. I'm not lying.
No, he's not joking.
We had our first $100,000. I made $100,000 one of my first years teaching guitar, and I was blown away. My dad was dead, so I called my mom, and my mom's response was, "But what about that job at Costco? You get a free turkey at Christmas. You get $21.50 an hour if it's a Sunday." And I used to be offended by it, but now what I see is that that's my mom's like stability. She doesn't like that I don't know where my check's coming from.
Yeah.
And that's your personality.
She's worried for you.
She's worried for me. I'm like, I don't give a fuck. I will go. I'm good. I'm good to go.
But yeah, fast forward 10 years, my dad every now and again actually comes to my gigs.
Cool.
Yeah.
Yeah, so and he's like, that actually sounded pretty fucking good. I didn't know you could play like that.
There you go.
Thanks, Dad.
Thanks, Dad.
I think.
Yeah. The last time he came, it was actually the double set that we did. I played with Caliber and then immediately played with Deadlights right after. And my dad came for the Caliber set because he's not a big death metal guy. So he was like, well, I already can't hear. My ears are already bleeding, so I don't want to stay for this next one because it's going to... And I was like, yeah, it's going to be much more violent.
Yeah. It's funny. I never considered Deadlights death metal, but...
Well, we were
thrash metal
compared to Exit Strategy, dude.
I'm glad it's still my studio project then. I'm glad we're still making music.
Damn. DJ here's like,
Big Jim.
Damn.
That was one of the first things he said about it. He was just like,
Damn, Daniel.
Yeah, it's actually the one thing I'm going to say I'm very disappointed about it being a studio project is now I can't go and stomp the yard on stage with those songs right now, but maybe that'll change in Calgary. Matt, do you want to take 14, 15?
Where are we?
We're on 14 and 15.
Yes. DJ, what do you suggest to bands that want to have more productive band practices?
Don't drink. Limit smoke breaks. Have a clear goal of what it is. Spend $100. Buy a giant fucking whiteboard. Write down what the goal is. Set rehearsal times. Rehearsal times never change. That's a big one for us. When we started, we just magically morphed into Monday, Wednesday, Friday, 8 until we're done. Now we scrap Fridays because it's just too much. Monday and Wednesday, 8 until we're done. Sometimes the guys roll in at 8:30. Sometimes they're rolling at 9, is what it is.
But you go till you're done.
We go until we're done. When it's practice, phones get shut off. I'm basically Hitler, but the reason I'm Hitler is because, frankly, there's tens of thousands of dollars at play. Don't be fucking
So
late.
you're stressing out.
Well, it's not stressing out. It's that
You're goal-oriented.
Yeah, I'm very aggressively goal. Did you see the thing I posted? It was like, alert, you should send a less aggressive. You should set a less aggressive goal to start. I was like, it's like you don't even know me.
Nate starting every game on the hardest difficulty just so he can.
Nate, starting every fucking day
Yeah, that is that. Yeah.
till 3 in the morning.
If you want to have more productive band practices, have a discussion of what it is that you guys want to, like the end goal thing here, like the thing down the pipe, down the field.
Makes sense.
And start hashing out what it is to do, and stop letting your, well, I can't practice on Mondays because I have a thing. Okay, well, you'll reschedule your life around it. It might take a year to get people used to it.
Well, they'll
but
figure it out.
After a few years, my family and like my in-laws and even my wife, they just stop inviting me to things that are on Monday and Wednesdays, and now they've stopped scheduling things that are on Mondays and Wednesdays because they know I'm busy. And when you respect your craft enough to that level, people will stop saying it's just a phase, and they'll go, "Oh,
I've heard that before."
yeah, yeah." You have to respect the craft at a certain level, and nobody will respect you, and nobody respect your craft till you start with respecting it yourself.
I think that flows really well. I'm going to steal this one, Matt. I'm sorry, but what's one fundamental thing you see most bands screwing themselves over with?
Entitlement. 100%. They're also assholes. Hey, DJ, what's up, buddy? Well, how would I go about doing this? You should really blah. Well, no, I'm not going to do that because that's a blah. All right, well, bye.
I'll just go fuck myself then.
Yeah, I have said that. I say that all the time. It's fucking great. I hope you were quoting me there because otherwise that was good. I guess I'll just go fuck myself. But
Half and half. I was quoting super bad.
oh, fuck, is it super bad? Damn it. Yeah, every time. We played with a bunch of bands at Edmonton, and I walked up to them and I was like, hey, you guys are great. Can I give some friendly advice? And walls went up and they took steps back and assumed poses. And my advice was just going to be, you should, here's advice that I do. You should dictate one member of your band that the second you were done your set, beelines it to the merch table.
Yes. Oh
Everybody
my God. Yes.
And that's how they got offended or on guard from.
Yeah, I was like, hey, can I just give some friendly advice? And then blah. And then I said, you should dictate one person from your merch table, blah, blah, blah. And they were like, oh, okay. And they kind of like blowing it off. And I was like, because there was 7 people at your merch table wanting to buy shit. And now they're not there.
And you want to hit them right after your set because that's when you're fresh in people's minds.
Well, not only that, but notoriously everybody wants to shake your hand or tell you sucked.
Yeah.
Now, granted,
bro.
If people are telling you that you suck, you want to hear it. You want them to say that in front of your merch table, and you want to write down everything that they said about you. And then when you're calmer, think about if it has
If it's
some actual
constructive or
warrant.
not, if it's just them talking shit.
No, I'm a music teacher by fucking trade. I'm going to watch Caliber set. I'm going to love it because I loved you guys last year. At
You're gonna dissect it though, weren't you?
UFR?
Oh, yeah.
UFR?
Didn't you dissect the fuck out of us the first time, too?
I can't help it. But then what happens is I go, okay, cool. And I don't walk up to you and go, here's the things you need. But it's inevitable that because we become friends that you message me a guitar question at some point. And I go, yeah, bro, you want to fix like your right hand of the blah, blah, blah. Here's some steps. Here's a quick video. Here's an explanation. Here's the thing. Try that out.
And then I did it.
Yeah. And it was economy picking, right?
Yeah,
and your
and
economy picking, like, boom, there you go. You got it now.
So that's where that came from.
Yeah.
Dude.
Yeah, I picked that up from this guy.
It
Dude.
was one message. I was like, just try this. And then he sent me, oh my God. I'm like, yeah, there you go.
So much fuck. I am so much faster now.
All in the wrist.
It was good.
I cannot stress that enough and I'll admit this on camera myself, and I do this in usually first thing in the morning when I'm not coherent enough to just be like, Nate, stay the fuck away from social media. But if like say I ask for a mix crit from someone in a community, and the first thing I see in the morning is like something I just maybe don't agree with.
Or calls
maybe
your roommate a hipster and her
maybe the smart
5-year-old.
thing is to take that with a grain of salt, put the phone away, and then look at it later, and then, like DJ said, assess if it has any thought. Because
Can I share a specific story on that?
I got one for you just based off today.
I got one a couple weeks or like a
I
few
got one
months
from 2
ago.
days ago.
Oh,
Remember that time that you sent me that Deadlights mix? Or he was like, yeah, this is a new song we're working on. I was like, yeah, man, that sounds awesome. It's really sludgy. I love it. And he's like, it's not sludgy.
Oh, yeah, I hate the term sludge.
And
I
then
can
was
never
like,
escape
Dude, I
it.
gave you a compliment. Calm down.
That
He's
was-
like, I don't take it as a compliment.
For me, I'm asking for opinions, so I shouldn't be pissy if I'm seeing something, being like, hey, I'm hearing a little something in this range that you should look at. I should be like listening to
Have
it.
an outside
Yeah,
ear
but you're
on
not
it.
asking for opinions. You've confused that with trying to get significance by somebody else saying,
Oh,
great job, Nate.
No, I mean, I'm in a few forums that are specifically audio engineers, and we flip mixes to each other just to get a different ear on something after 8 hours of working on something.
Oh, yeah, okay.
And so that's in those instances where I'm directly being like, hey, guys, I needed a break. What are you hearing? The last thing I should be doing after that is being like, trying to self-justify what I've done, because if I already had that opinion on what I'm doing, why am I even bothering to ask for a second set of ears?
It's kind of like when Sean goes to you for like when he was riffing, just to like get an outside idea and ear. Phone went
Exactly.
off.
Yeah, that's right. That's
Phone went off.
that's right. We're going to
That's
wrap
the
it up here.
sign.
Oh, I'm having fun. Oh.
I'm having fun too.
Well,
All right, I'll just wrap it up here with this last question. What advice would you give to bands that want to apply for festivals such as Armstrong and Loud as Hell? Since you've played so
don't
many of
ask
them.
me that question. Oh, fuck.
How do you get them?
Well, we don't, actually. Like, we don't get Armstrong. We've been denied Armstrong fucking 3 years in a row.
damn.
Damn.
Again, because of something political. We get Loud as Hell, and we got Loud as Hell last year, but we pulled out because our management saw the deal and said no. And was very stern about the no, which was tough because I love Jeff and Ryan and I love the Loud as Hell Festival and we like being a part of it. But our management was like they were like, this is because I'm not shitting on the Loud as Hell Festival. It's a great festival. Everything about it is fucking 37,000 out of 10. Everything about it. But management was like, if you're raising the bar, you can't do that. That doesn't make any sense.
They essentially you're trying to jump to a tier where they're now, not to talk down on them, but if we're talking about a ladder, you're aiming for one rung higher than where Loud as Hell
and
is.
it's hard because like they're inevitably going to see this because your podcast is getting popular, and it's not shitting on them at all. I love those guys and I love what they do. And every time Jeff is literally in my phone as legend. Like that's his name in my phone. He's an amazing guy. And Ryan,
that, man.
when I got Pro Tools at home, I posted, I got Pro Tools. It's fucking epic. And Ryan instantly started flooding me with all these like tutorial things. And he's like, you ever need me, man? Here's my number. I got you. And I'm like, oh, this is great. I love everything about them. But management who we pay to take us to a higher rung ladder disagreed with the offer. And the problem with some festivals is, and it's not Loud as Hell, but some festivals is they get offended because of that entitlement thing. They get offended that you disagree with payout, placement, things. Yeah. My argument is this, and it's a horrible thing to say, but a band in this country desperately needs to realize that those festivals have no bearing on the future of your career, and you should stop putting. And the reason I say this is because so many bands have broken up because they started fighting that they didn't get Metallian or Armstrong or something. These festivals are great and they're fun, and it's a lot of times like Loud as Hell has been referred to as a metalhead family reunion, and that's very accurate. Some of you I never got to see before we started touring until Loud as Hell, and I'd be like, "Oh, date, fuck, dude!" Or we caught up at Moments Fest, and I was like, "Fuck, it was great, it's fun." Pete, I never saw Pete for a long time, and I saw him at Moments Fest. It was great. But it has no bearing on, like, if you didn't get Loud as Hell this year, doesn't mean that you will not get any more gigs, and it doesn't mean that you can't tour, and it doesn't mean that you, like, every band should just focus on touring and put as much clout on touring as you do on whether or not you got that acceptance email from your submission to a certain
You
festival.
put so much more into your mental fortitude with that, I think.
Yeah, it boggles my mind because I love all the festivals. I think they're fucking fantastic. They're fun to play. They're great. And the people that organize them are like 9 out of 10 times the most amazing human beings that you will meet. But Without Mercy didn't get any festivals this year. We also didn't apply to any festivals this year. So does that mean we're not going to tour? Does that mean fuck the new record, I guess?
No, hell no. You guys got your own way.
And with that statement, though, everybody in this room was like, that's a ridiculous thought, right?
Yeah.
Well, I mean the same thing as Crimson Caliber then. Crimson Caliber didn't get every festival that you wanted. I guess you might as well just stop being a band.
No, you guys got better aspirations than that.
It doesn't make any fucking sense. You'll get it next year. And I understand nobody wants to hear that. They want to get the festival this year.
That's the exact attitude that we have when we apply for festivals. So, like, yeah, we didn't get Armstrong. We're like, fuck it, we'll get it next year. We'll get it next year.
Yeah.
We didn't get Metallium. Fuck it, we'll get it next year.
Fuck yeah.
Yeah.
We didn't get Moments Fest. Fuck it, we'll get it next year.
Yeah.
I want to cut down to, we have a few left, but I only want to do 2 of these because we've either answered some of them or gone through them in some way, shape, or form. But these 2 I feel are real key. I'll take them, but it's 21 and 25. You like, it's obvious just with the way you talk, but you have an ability to keep grinding, keep playing shows, and you have a balance between personal life to a degree as well as your business life.
My wife would disagree.
Yeah, but,
yes.
how do you manage to at least find the mental balance to be able to do all this? Because I know a lot of friends and musicians that cave under the slightest change in anything, and to the degree to which you go at things are changing on a whim sometimes. Like you said, you have an email you have to deal with when you get back home on Monday. So how do you, I guess, mentally prepare yourself for all that?
I don't like change. I don't like it. There's something going on at our apartment building where we may get evicted or something because of some like renovation clause, and we might have to find a new place to live. Or my wife's got a job that's a significant distance away, so she wants to move towns. I don't like any of this, but I want something so bad that I don't equate something as trivial as having to move anywhere on the scope of how bad I want to do something. So when I want to tour with Without Mercy, if it boils down to I got to somehow pay everyone in my band $200 a gig or we can't do it anymore, I'm going to find the $200 a gig.
Hell yeah.
I want to do it too fucking bad. It's why our management, like our manager himself, Greg, it's why him and I get along, because anytime we talk on the phone, he's like, my God, you're just spitting venom of like wanting to do this. He's like, I usually have to light fires under bands' asses, and here you are booking tours, doing this interview. He's shocked that I set this up. I'm like, I didn't set anything up. Nate and Sean were like, hey, you should do it. I'm like, fuck it, hey, let's do a thing. Like it's so ridiculous. But I want to do something so bad, no outside force is going to stop me, short of some massive tragedy. But even then, my dad died on a Friday, and the Monday I was back at rehearsal.
Hell, that's
It's just a thing.
Driven.
Yeah,
To quote Pantera, far beyond driven.
Well, yeah, favorite record. Favorite record.
And then let's wrap it up with this one, because want to say this is the main reason I personally wanted to start this podcast with these 2 way back when. It's the reason I do half the things I do when it comes to trying to either help out my friends' bands behind the scenes or talk to people. And that is, I want to give the advice to individuals I wish I could have given to myself when this started. What's the one thing you would say to past you if you were staring yourself in the face? Like, what is the one thing I guess you would try to anchor home to you when you first started that you had to keep in mind throughout this entire thing?
I'm sure it's a quote stolen from someone else, but I truly believe it. They're all wrong. It works out. You'll see.
I love it. I absolutely love it. With that, we have been running this a lot longer than I thought. I just saw your watch in the time, and I was like,
we're running a little.
Thank you, DJ. This has been fantastic. Let's not stress out the little man any longer than he needs to be stressed out. I'll see you guys at the show.
Hell yeah.
Thank you, everyone, for watching and listening.
Thanks, guys. This
Take
was a
care.
blast. Thank you, Mittens.
Okay, I hope you all took a lot away from the talk with DJ. We had a lot of fun. We're going to talk to you a bit about the show and just our thoughts on this interview after this. But before we get into all that fun shit and ending this episode off, we have a song for you. And the song was even brought up briefly in the episode and in the interview. Matt, what are we going to listen to?
Oh, sweet baby ginger beef chicken.
we got ourselves some Without Mercy here, and that song the inspiration, You Smell Like a Bitch, Worthless, we're about to slap it onto you and make your face or melt. Hi, Nate. Make it melt your face. I hope you fucking enjoy.
Like I mentioned, it's my personal favorite.
And on 3, let's all say that opening line. 1, 2, 3.
You smell like a bitch. You smell like a bitch. Leave her and remember. Shut the fuck up, insane. But on the weekends, what's in each of pride? It's a turn, we ask for word. Whatever they meaning, something outside time. Cleansing you find people personal stay. Dreaming the rest, tearing at the sea. There's no excuses anymore. This has become worthless. Because I beat the beast, twist me a stress. Fucking senses, twist with people, this and break me a team. It's a murder, dwelling on their knees. There's no excuses anymore. This has been clear. Instances have been passed around. Inconsistency. Worth no more than ever before. How this goes far with
Okay, we hope you all enjoyed Worthless. I got to get right into it. We're going to talk about the show right away, but fuck, that interview. Like, I don't know about you guys, but I really had a good time talking to DJ here.
Yeah, same here.
Like, I learned a lot from that dude. Like, not just from this interview, but
Sorry.
just in general, like, talking to him in person.
Be a cat.
Yeah.
You should buy a haircut for real, though.
I can't.
Actually,
we have a story. I'll tell you about that later. But just he means so much. He has so much, I guess, well-intention behind what he does. He's very upfront about the fact that the stuff that he does do business-wise are for money and to further his career and do music as a living, but he's so upfront about it and still gives a fuck. Like the way he brought up when a band got burned by someone who doesn't work for him anymore, and someone tried to like book a tour under his name and just took the money and fucked the band over. Like most guys I know, well, I won't say most guys. There are a lot of individuals I've come across who, if that had happened to them, they wouldn't have batted an eye. The phone call would have gone, hello? Oh, what's up? No, I didn't do that. Oh, that sounds like your problem. And the fact that DJ cared enough to try and figure something out, like, I don't know. What did you guys take away from it? I know it's late and I know we're very tired, but I really did want to wait till things had kind of come down and everyone had a little bit of time to process that before we kind of wound this all down. And I kind of want to pick your guys' brain briefly. I know it's going to be slim pickings because it's pretty late or pretty early depending on your perception on this, but
I felt it was a lot more insightful, but also a lot more personal than I expected from the interview, just from like some of his answers to not only the tips and tricks, but from the weeb questions itself.
He went so in depth.
Even like some things he said are like first time on interview, which
honestly, I'm very honored to say we got some firsts. Like I wasn't expecting any
smell it like a bitch like response, like
that the moment it clicked. Like I wasn't expecting that to be like a first. To me, that seems like something you'd want to know. Like I get maybe it's something that no one wants to ask because they're not sure what answer they're going to get or it doesn't come to mind. But
and not always like a pretty story. Like that was a really nasty story. Like how that clicked.
Yeah. I think he brought it up on a regular basis, genuinity, and he showed that in spades with how much he opened up about himself on this episode, I think.
As well as entitlement and how it's damaging for like to everything from a scene to just the individual themselves.
His whole spiel on entitlement. That's one of the things that really stuck up here.
Yeah,
I know that for a fact.
It's amazing hearing it come from him because he's been around the block. He watches everyone. I know that seems really creepy, but he's like the ginger Santa Claus of our scene to an extent where like he keeps tabs on everyone.
Even on me. It's like,
yeah, fun little tidbit at the show. So Matt, what is your art program?
Tranquilizer Arts. Yeah, I illustrated. I'm a graphic designer.
Matt is a phenomenal graphic designer. If you have seen any of the Crimson Caliber logos that have been surfacing around, if you listen to them at all, Matt did the logo.
Or any interesting projects the Swan brains up or anybody brains up.
Yeah, like
I spread my wings.
If you've seen my solo project, Matt did my artwork. Matt's doing Sean's artwork. He's done some artwork for Crimson Caliber. He's doing artwork for my buddy and bandmate Mason on his solo stuff. This guy does some solid work, but he was laid a fucking truth bomb in spades talking to DJ away from everything.
Needed.
And that's what I mean. Like, we're not going to obviously go into that, but just the fact that even after we left this space, we learned a lot more. And we really feel like, I hope you guys really took something from that discussion. Does anyone else have a comment on just the interview before we talk about the show?
What a guy. What a fucking guy and a half. DJ, a fucking character that I applaud and tip the hat to. I go Knights.
Night, time for Swan.
Give me that rope.
Okay, let's get into the show because I personally missed Nuclear Oath. Did not mean to.
I caught the end.
That's
They
good.
actually killed it.
How's their stage performance?
It really hasn't changed.
That's good.
Is it?
I wish I could have seen a little more movement from the bass player, but that's just because you're a psychopath.
Yeah, I'm a hard standard to live up to when it comes to energy on stage.
You can't
Listen
compete.
to him sucking his own dick.
I'm not.
You can't compete with a cocaine monkey.
No, I've watched footage of myself, and there's been times where I've been like, I belong in an asylum. Like the old Renzukin gigs.
Off note, you know how I was mentioning like how Barney Greenway from Napalm Death uses the stage? Nate is also like Barney Greenway. he would also probably do that shit in a sling like him.
What?
I was explaining to Sean earlier. I'll live with it. How Barney Greenway, when I saw him 4 years ago, was playing in the Slain, and he's from Napalm Death, and his stage performance is very high energy, and use of body movements.
Performed 2 festivals with pneumonia. The first time I didn't know I had pneumonia. Sean was there. There's pictures. I've looked at pictures
Weird
of me.
flex, but my point exactly.
No, and like the worst part is, I remember after that show, like I went outside. It was a Tunes for Tokes event, and
Didn't you take a bone rip or something?
no, I saw my boss at the time had come, and he tried to smoke a joint with me, and I was literally
This is not
doing.
my fault now.
I couldn't even get the joint to my mouth. I was coughing so much because again, pneumonia, and this was like maybe the 3rd show with Colton.
Okay, I made a mistake. I'm sorry.
For Tunes for Tokes. But long story short, like, yeah, you're not wrong. I don't give myself an excuse. The only thing that would prevent me from going on stage is I'm at the hospital and I'm not allowed to leave.
Or you're too doped up. Actually, no, that's not enough excuse.
I'm not allowed
I'm getting this. Where's this tube coming out? Sir, that's out of your.
Sean knows.
Come out sounding like sloth from the Goonies.
Yeah.
Sir,
But I think it was really for me.
Gown and all.
For me at that show, I got to say, Zanny was really cool. Like seeing him play again. Hip hop artist, for those of you that don't know. He's also the vocalist for a grindcore band called Crease that you should check out.
Who I also have done the logo for.
No, I forgot you did that.
See? DJ, you strike again.
But
I can already hear him saying, "Told you."
Yeah. Oh God. But like that was cool. Fucking Without Mercy. Like
fuck, they bring the pain
again.
My neck is gonna be sore. I could not. I'm not gonna lie. Like when I watched,
I'm glad Marshall actually got footage of them because fuck, their stage presence is fucking menacing. From that light box is like a game changer.
Okay, I'm not gonna lie. That's one compliment I got from DJ way back when at Moments Fest that I kind of feel I now need to forever live up to with every gig. And he said we made him want to play harder. Because we went on before Without Mercy.
Especially now seeing them a few more times, that I forgot that, and I can vouch for that too because I was like next to him when he said that.
Yeah, and like they go hard,
and including this interview, that's kind of like how DJ kind of got kicked in with Exit Strategy.
Yeah, honestly, I really hope that project keeps going, not Exit Strategy, but Deadlights to a degree, mainly because of that comment. When that got brought up, the amount of praise he gave Exit Strategy, and then the fact that someone that we know in the Calgary scene directly compared us to that, I am actually really curious to see what the comparisons would be if the lineup's tight and I don't have a fucking guitar tied to my strap, like tied to me, and everyone can just unleash hell.
You're going to definitely have to bring back the dreads if you're
full fucking
mic.
don't worry.
And the mask.
Oh shit! If I got permission to do both, you know I will.
As long as I can wear a fucking tutu on stage, I don't give a fuck what you do.
As long as it's color coordinated, we're good.
Please don't. We'll
talk later.
Balls hanging out.
We'll talk later about that. But like again, like
please do.
I like the amount of times I took my glasses off to headbang and then put them back on when I was like, I gotta see what the fuck he's doing, and I felt like I was trying to be that John Petrucci meme.
Front man keep their glasses on.
Yeah, no. Mine actually almost flew off a few times. But
because no one keeps them on.
Do you remember that? I'm pretty sure you've all seen this meme of like John Petrucci analyzing a guitarist while he's playing, and it's just like staring at it, scans the fretboard, and it's like, oh, here's what you do. I was doing the first part, like watching and scanning the fretboard, and then half the time I'm getting lost, like, wait, he just went 1, 2, 3, then he's doing this pattern, and then wait, where the fuck did he shift to? That madman, like Jesus Christ, and then his sweep arpeggios and his tapping.
Sorry, Sean, you're gonna hate me again, but on that off note, it makes me wonder how that man works out because he's also really fit. But imagine his routine when it comes to working out. Get out of here, Shisha.
Dedication. That dude is fucking dedicated, and I hope everyone gets a little bit of motivation, a little bit of kick in the ass from him.
Are we talking about John Petrucci or okay? We're talking about DJ.
Oh, dude, both of them.
Yes.
Like honestly, if you have the ability to meet John Petrucci, or if you're lucky like DJ Temple and you can get taught by Chris Broderick, or if you are fortunate enough to go and see Without Mercy while they're on tour and you get a chance to talk with DJ. Take it up.
Apparently, that's their goals for next year or the upcoming year.
They're gonna kick some fucking ass.
They're gonna fucking just spread wings.
And then
I think that's where we can good place to wrap it
Yeah,
up.
that was Sean. Last thing I want to say is, good set as always. I'm sorry that I didn't get to catch all of it because I was getting my mental ass kicked by DJ.
You had a good set.
You did solid. Keep kicking ass with Caliber.
And taking names.
Take any strife as it comes. Don't let it get you down. Learning experiences are great, and it only sucks if you keep repeating them. But if you put your best foot forward, well, I think we'll all have a good time. With that in mind, we're going to wrap shit up with one last song.
What's been the long-anticipated song, Nate?
Oh, dude, I am fucking stoked. These cats we had here 2 years ago. Not on the show, but
Yes,
in the
actually
studio.
A year and a half ago.
Yeah, about a year and a half ago, 2 years ago. It's around there. It was about July, right?
July.
It was
like
July.
End of July, getting close there, but you know.
They played with Unbeheld.
Oh shit, yeah.
They played with, I do believe, Crimson Caliber
Yeah,
that night.
I played that show.
Wasn't that your debut show?
Yeah, that was my debut show.
Well, the band that headlined that night, you know, ha ha, I see what you did there. It's true, you guys did headline that night, though.
Wow. You and your headliners.
Yeah, but so I know we've talked about the wonderful brawl that happened that night
I've had none.
and how awesome it was to see the metal scene collectively kick out the individual causing a ruckus while Travis was chanting over the microphone, kick them out, kick them out. But before that, we had the band God Said Kill from Vancouver, British Columbia. Holy shit, if you're into that tech gent bullshit that I am, ugh!
Dual
Damn.
vocals.
Dual vocals. Roger's a phenomenal guitarist. Roy's a kick-ass bass player. Brandon and Andrew on like their vocal dynamics. Shit. The video for this is also really cool. A little bit of snippet they're going to be telling us. This new album they're releasing is actually basically the previous album done right, because they feel that they rushed it out to get it on tour and they wanted to
How money?
yeah. It's basically that done proper.
Okay.
Because
In a way, kind of remastered or remixed.
completely redone, because they felt that it was done in a rushed effort to meet a tour, and they don't agree with how it sounds. They felt it didn't represent them properly, and they wanted to do it with justice. But here's the thing: the song we're going to listen to isn't on Hell Money. It's the new track.
Oh.
Yeah, and there's also
like what Boo did with their
There's also
album.
some slight changes too. I got a sneak peek at one of the new versions of the old songs, and
Ooh, you dirty boy.
ooh, damn. I'm not allowed to share it, but you might have to come over and listen to it sometime, Sean.
now it's
Because
time.
you will lose about 50 pounds in jizz.
It's gonna
What jizz, ladies and gentlemen.
That is a
It's
lot
gonna
of.
lose a lot of weight just in beating the living piss out of you. This.
And you could say it would be your last walk. Okay, that's bad, but the
Okay,
song
get
is
the-
called Last
Okay,
Walk.
that's the end of it, Nate. We're wrapping this up.
The
Glenn,
song-
mute that
I'm too
fucker.
tired for that.
Mute him now.
Okay, we're going to wrap it up here. The song is called Last Walk. The band is God Said Kill. We had DJ Temple in the studio. We had a great interview. Stay tuned on our YouTube channel, or my YouTube channel. I'm going to be releasing the full episode with video as well. I'll be editing the tips and tricks part of the second half of the interview into a more condensed version for an episode there. If you need more tips and shit, go to my YouTube channel. I just started dabbling in recording in a DAW so that you can learn how to songwrite, either with your band or on your own, whatever works for you. New covers, Caliber's doing stuff, Abyss Walker's doing stuff.
Fuck's Abyss Walker.
I don't know. Who is Abyss Walker? Do you want to drop a bomb quickly?
So,
I guess we have to know.
As it sits right now, I have a studio project that I plan on releasing continuous material with. Do I intend on making it a band later on, after I'm satisfied with my sound? You're goddamn fucking right I am.
And he's got some pretty cool candidates already, especially a certain drummer who just came out of the woodwork again a few weeks ago, and man, it's been good seeing him.
Didn't really good seeing him, but carry on.
I'm not going to go into much more detail.
But yeah. Tranquilizer has got stuff. Octave Studios got stuff.
Abyss Walker, Crimson Caliber got stuff.
fun fact, the Abyss Walker logo was designed by Matt Semenov.
Oh, Tranquilizer Arts.
So stay tuned for all of that. Go follow Matt on Instagram at Tranquilizer Arts. Follow me on Instagram at Nate Bohnet. Follow Sean at
Wolves and Swans on Instagram and Crimson Caliber Thrash.
And also go to Facebook, Instagram, find Temple Music Academy, Temple Entertainment, Without Mercy, and fuck it. Why not the Ginger Tornado himself, DJ Temple? Say hi, tell him you checked out the episode and that you really enjoyed it.
Pretty too. He likes that kind
He
of
does
shit.
enjoy hearing his pretty. With that, this is God Side Kill, Last Walk. Thank you all for 50 episodes. Hopefully there'll be 50 more.
This moment rises to be forgotten. We are the